this like 30 times a day.
This helmet stinks.
It smells like your son's spit.
Probably.
All right.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. God damn it! I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Stockton, California's finest gentlemen present to you the greatest podcast in the world today. Your host, he's richer than you, he's better than you, but he will not give you a tip. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, Tim also co-hosting, the author and mentor of Big Man's Jiu-Jitsu, the man with the pimp hand that keeps getting stronger and stronger, Jiu-Jitsu black belt, Ernest Fett. And today's special guest, one of the baddest Sambo masters in the world, former UFC fighter, Val Ignatov! Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Inside the BJJ podcast.
Nice job, Matt Freeman.
Calm down. My God.
I feel like you're really worked up today.
I think that Ernest looked a lot better the way it was before.
I want to remind everybody. I got the names wrong too. Sorry about that. That today's
As long as you got Val's name right, dude, he will fuck your shit up.
today's podcast is brought to you by Inside BJJ.
Go premium, motherfucker!
Wow. Okay. Thanks for that, man. Go to InsideBJJ.com/premium. Get a premium subscription. You get access to the full back catalog.
I'll do this, bitch. I'll do this, bitch, right here.
Every show we've ever done.
I'll fucking do it, dude.
And it's $1.99 a month. You also get access to the premium-only shows in the Ernest Project, the Fight Night shows that we've done. We've been putting the Girls Podcast out for free lately, but there's a lot of cool stuff. We also want to remind you to check out some of the people that help us out. And we want to give major props. You see that little bag of coffee sitting in front of Ernest right there? That's called Caveman Coffee.
I'll fucking do it.
Don't shoot the Caveman
I'll
Coffee.
fucking do it, man.
If you shoot the Caveman
This
Coffee...
shit's not bulletproof, dude.
Oh, no, that's good. That's good. I like that.
Get it?
But you know what? It's better than bulletproof, right?
Caveman.
That's
you
why
know
we're
who needs
drinking
this shit?
I don't know about
Kurt
that.
Osiander needs this. This is what Kurt. This is what
way
gave
better
Kurt,
than bulletproof coffee.
This is what. See, Kurt used to shave his head. He started drinking this shit. Now it's the Kurt we know.
I love how I'm like, I love Caveman Coffee, and Matt's like, I don't know, maybe. Do you have any tests? Do you have anything to back that up?
We want to do a blind taster's choice test,
Yeah.
Caveman Coffee
Yeah.
versus the other brand.
I
No,
like
I
to use
don't.
this when I give my coffee enemas. I use only Caveman coffee.
It works nice. It works well.
Yeah, it's smoother. That's why you
I
don't
think
want
so.
you don't want a rough coffee.
No, and also make sure you guys check out Kountermove MMA. They do fantasy MMA. We're going to be doing our Kountermove picks later on in the show today. And check out the BJJ Tour. Go to www.bjjtour.com. Find out when they're coming to an area
And
near
also,
you.
all the people that are into fantasy, I am open to receiving pictures of your wife.
Just general fantasy? Yeah.
General fantasy.
Not so much fantasy
It's called
football.
fantasy BJJ, so like you fantasize over banging all the dudes' wives that train BJJ.
Is that what you're doing?
That's what I'm doing.
Wow. So,
Like,
I'm gonna start photoshopping pictures of them doing his wife.
real quick.
Like, oh, I thought you were into this, bro.
Yeah,
My bad.
I thought it was cool. Why do you have so many photos of all
Whatever.
the gentlemen's wives? Real quick, guys, we got a great show lined up. We're going to talk to Val Ignatov in a few minutes, and then we got some listener calls on the line. A few things, dude. Anderson Silva failed another drug test. What the hell's
What was
going
it for?
on?
Wasn't it for Xanax or something?
Well, that was part of it, but
He
there
was on the Zanny bars.
I wasn't for sure. I couldn't figure out if he flunked again for testosterone.
Again?
Or just
Dude.
just for the Xanax.
I'm pretty sure he flunked a game.
I don't think he did.
Again.
No,
You got your facts wrong.
He did. It was another steroid, horse meat, that he has no idea how it got in his system.
No, you don't know.
Horse
He's like
meat?
Rafael Palmeiro. I do not take steroids. He's still denying this shit. It's like, dude, it didn't work out well for Roger Clemens. It didn't work out well for Barry Bonds. When you just admit it, it goes away. When you're Jason Giambi, you're like, yeah, I did it. I'm sorry. No one talks about Giambi.
That's what
doing
Andy
steroids.
Pettit did. Andy
Pettit
Pettit
did.
He
All he's
came
got
out.
to do is like, look, dude, I'm fucking old, dude. This guy's a triathlete.
He came out.
the
He
fuck?
cried, and then he asked for forgiveness, and everyone forgave
Everyone
Pettit.
forgave him.
But the guys that were like, I've never taken. Palmeiro was all indignant, lying in front of the freaking a Senate hearing.
Period. And then he comes out like right after that.
This guy had already tested positive, and he knew it, and he went in front of the
Roger
Senate
Clemens
and said,
never took steroids.
I have never taken. Anyway,
You know what a special kind of person it takes to fucking know, like, right here, here's a piece of paper that says, these are the test results. It's on fucking black and white.
to get up and do that.
I
Here's
don't know.
Here's the expert who did the tests. Here's a doctor who fucking double-checked his work. Here's a fucking cop that knows what these guys are fucking talking about. You're fucking guilty. It's right here, plain as day. And we kept a piece of the sample just so you know, so we can retest it. Nope. You're fucking liars. That takes a special piece of shit to do that, dude.
I didn't know. They tell me bend down. I bend down, pull my pants. They stick me. It's normal. I don't know. Steroids.
There's always one guy in the crew that's got to take the fall, too. He's got to be the guy that gave the main guy the supplement that had the bad shit, and he's going to have to take it for the team. And basically, he's like, damn, all right.
Like the motherfucker that went to prison for Barry Bonds.
Once again, one more way Jiu-Jitsu's like a gang.
Exactly. And he's never the main trainer. He's always like 3 trainers
Greg
down.
Anderson, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Prospect.
Who's
right?
Anderson's Greg Anderson? Who gave this to Anderson?
I don't know. So, you guys know this Matt Brown, right? There's a story.
Who?
Matt Brown is a UFC fighter.
Never heard of him.
Who?
Okay, cool.
He couldn't beat Conor McGregor.
Thanks for that. We'll go to the next segment then. You never heard of him. No, so he he's a UFC fighter, and I guess he got into it with his jiu-jitsu coach, Rodrigo Bodie.
He's also the dude that said he doesn't like women's fighting unless they're topless.
Awesome. So he posted about the incident on Facebook. He's fighting Johnny Hendricks at UFC 185 coming up here. And he said, all right, I got to say something now. I suppose I have way bigger fish to fry, but I can't help it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I punched him in the face. No, I'm not a violent person. I was provoked. I was pushed first. He put his hands on me first and then cried to the police about it after. That is a bitch move. Not how 2 grown-ass men sort things out. I'm not going to give the long version, and I'm not going to comment a lot about it. I don't need the stress, blah, blah, blah. He's letting everybody know that he was pushed first. He walked away. He tried to stay away and let things simmer down. It didn't help. So he had to punch Rodrigo Bodie in the face.
Was it in the gym?
I think it was in the gym. It seems like it
Dude,
was.
it's a combat sports fucking arena.
You know,
People get punched in the face. That's where you sign the waiver for.
And then
the fucking instructor's not exempt to the waiver. If you get punched in the face when you're fucking with somebody on the mat.
So let's listen to what Bodie said. He's referring also to a Muay Thai coach in here who is Dorian Price, who competed on the Ultimate Fighter Season 6.
I like it better like that, the Ultimate Season.
The Ultimate Season Fighters.
The Ultimate Season Fighter.
And so I'm coming out with a new thing for veterans. It's called the Ultimate Seasoned Fighter.
That's the one they sell at the flea market, but it's a bunch of homeboys in the backyard.
Bunch of Indian
and they
guys.
it's like a time lapse over like a year. They've been fucking each other up. And then, like, these are the last 2 guys that are still down to fight with each other.
Over in some vacant lot on Bianchi. Yeah.
This is funny, dude.
So it goes real quick. Bodie says, I wouldn't say anything here, and I'll let the law system speak, but it looks like the other side's being posted. Here's what happened. The UFC fighter I coached the day of the incident assaulted me with multiple punches while I was sitting in a chair behind the desk. Makes even worse when he knew about my eye condition and the eye surgery I had 3 weeks before he assaulted
I'd
me.
have beat your ass and have this eye surgery.
He also knew I had 16 internal stitches in my eye. Those stitches popped from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. He knows the exact
Hey,
time
I
frame.
told you to stay on the other fucking side of the room, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. This is Joe Riggs, Nick Diaz all over again. In fact, I had 4 surgeries in the last 15 months. The same person invited me to do sauna at Lifetime Fitness on Sunday before the incident. I stopped by his house. I dropped a gift off for his kid. We went to the sauna. And there he said I was his best friend and that he could see now a bunch of fake people he was surrounded with, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, a big mix-up, but Jesus, this guy left a huge statement. Usually the guy that does the most talking with
lying.
the most to explain generally is telling the biggest tale, right?
So if he's right now, this is inside BJJ court. Who do you say is innocent or guilty?
Well, go ahead. I'll let you guys go first, then I'll make the ruling.
I think they're both bitches, just to be honest. Like, okay, I was provoked. He pushed me. Motherfucker, this is like what I tell my 5-year-old. Dude, you don't, hey, Dad, we punch bad guys, right? No, no, no. You don't punch people unless you have to. When do you have to? When they put, when they're punching you. Maybe, you use your words. Make better choices. Yada, yada. I talked to this fucking guy like a 5-year-old. He fucking pushed you? Oh, you're a fucking fighter, dude. If he fucking attacked you with punches, then you have a right to defend yourself. But somebody pushing you away,
Something
that's
else
nothing,
is going
dude.
on, though,
There's,
right?
You push somebody to make space so that there isn't a confrontation. Maybe this fucking roided out hothead fuck was getting all crazy
Who's
inside of
taking
there.
the roids?
Well, let's just assume the fucking UFC fighter is taking steroids, all right?
It's not a bad assumption to
It's
make.
not a bad
That's
assumption
fair.
given the fucking
I'm not going to
recent
call
events.
bullshit on that. Yes,
Right.
fair. That's
So
fair.
let's assume this fuck with his tribal band tattoos was getting crazy in the academy with this fucking jiu-jitsu coach.
You think you could take Matt
and
Brown?
he pushed him in the chest like, hey, man, get away.
Me
right?
or him?
Yeah.
Oh, him?
Conor? Maybe Conor to take that fight. He'd fuck him up real good.
Real good. Okay.
So then there's that. Dude, and then why would, I don't know.
So you're saying
But
Brown
then-
is a bitch.
But then at the same time, the jiu-jitsu coach, I can see a fucking manipulative ass fucking instructor. Oh, I've had stitches, but I'm going to fucking talk shit to this guy. I know what's going to happen when I push him.
yeah.
He's going to fucking hit me. And then I'm going to tell him, hey, I
What-
was sitting down. He came around the desk and fucked me up.
Right,
I
right.
was supposed to be his best friend. I
What
took
do-
him under my wing, free training, yada, yada. I fucking heard this shit.
What do you think, Matt?
I think Matt Brown is a dick because he already came out and said that he refused to watch women's fighting unless their chicks were fighting with their tops off, and that's what he thought about women's fighting, and he felt comfortable enough to say that publicly. Then later on, he was like, "I apologize if I offended anybody."
Uh-huh.
And then, so he really seemed kind of douchey right there. Or maybe he was trying to be funny. I
Is
don't
he the
know.
guy that said that for sure?
He is, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought he meant it. Like, I don't think he was joking. I think
think
that's
So
he
he's
was.
one of these guys that just fucking pops off and does some stupid shit, and then he'll
I
just be
think
apologetic.
maybe.
He'll be
Oh,
apologetic
maybe.
later.
Oh,
right?
he's like us.
And then I don't know the jiu-jitsu dude.
Fuck you, man.
I doubt he really had to sock the jiu-jitsu guy up though. Like,
I don't know the jujitsu dude either.
this is what I think happened. The jiu-jitsu guy's got a big mouth. I mean, he talks a lot. Obviously, his rebuttal was like all those paragraphs long. He's running his mouth at this Matt Brown guy. Matt Brown walks away. This guy keeps on talking and keeps going. So then Matt Brown socks him up.
Here's what I'm going to tell you what I think happened. This is what I think happened. That this guy's been teaching Matt Brown, right? They've been training together on and off or whatever. He's a jiu-jitsu coach at some level. And Matt Brown is probably not listening to what he's telling him to do. And so there's some already underlying tension from that. Matt Brown is moving up in the world, and he probably, typically what happens is these MMA guys look at their jiu-jitsu coaches like, you're a punk bitch because you don't fight.
Right.
And I could take you. You don't know. If I punch you one time, you're a brown belt. Punch you twice, you're purple. Punch you 3 times, you're blue. Punch you, then you're white. If I keep punching, you go negative black, negative brown, negative purple, negative. Okay, so he's thinking that. So he thinks this guy's a punk. The other guy's like, oh, he doesn't know my jiu-jitsu's badass or whatever. So they get a little physical. The coach probably didn't think that Brown was going to sock him in the face, right? Especially if he has the Forrest Whitaker eye thing going on. But he did, and he got punched in the face. And now the Brazilian dude, he's probably Brazilian, Rodrigo Bode. I don't know if that's Brazilian or not.
How did he go?
He doesn't want any beef with the law whatsoever, so he's going to have many words to explain his situation precisely. Brown comes out and says, "Look, man, this is how men settle business. So I'm gonna rule for Matt Brown."
That's what I think is funny. The funniest thing about
Hold on, Rodrigo Bode didn't have a receipt. If you don't have a receipt, you lose.
you lose in people's court. You got a point. What I think is the funniest thing about all this is Matt Brown said this: "No, I am not a violent person. Yes, I punched him in the face."
Yeah, that's some fucking Rick James shit. Or I have another scenario.
Guilty.
What?
So they're in the sauna. They're best friends. They're spending time. They're training together. Probably.
I should have figured you'd bring the sauna back to it.
Probably no gi.
Why did he even write that about that they went
Right.
to the sauna?
That's why. That's significant.
So take a
So-
look at me now.
You wait, sing that really low so I can tell this story.
This is just an empty
So they met each other
space.
through some connections, friends of friends. They got to know each other. It started off as just training. Then he started kind of like looking up to his jiu-jitsu instructor. And he's like really influenced by him. His jiu-jitsu is awesome. They train a lot of no-gi. They go shirts off because, you know, it's how they fight in the UFC. You might as well make it realistic. This sauna thing, it's happened a couple of times. Maybe more times than it should have been. And then it became something different.
It went like beyond what it was
like
supposed
real
to
different, you know, something that they do in a third world country that's acceptable as long as you don't talk about it. And then the little foreign guy's like, you know, I'm tired to hold my feelings. I don't like to hold my feelings. I think people should know I have nobody in this world but you, Matt. I just want us to be together. I'm tired of living your lies. These lies. And he's like, fuck you, bro. Fucking tell anybody about this shit, I'll fucking kick your ass. He's like, why you so angry? You're not angry when you make love to me. He's like, I swear to God, man, if you fucking tell anybody about this, man, I was talking about chicks' tits and fighting and punching each other in the tits. Bro, I got an image to live up, man. I can't be labeled. I can't labeled nothing.
Why do you think I said that about wanting to see him topless?
If I wanted people to know I like this kind of stuff, I would have been talking about dicks. I was talking about titties.
You see that Conor McGregor? He's fine.
You stay the fuck away from me. And so he's like, I'm tired to live these lies.
This is crazy.
And so then it became like it became like this whole like, you know, hey, like and then he's so like he got punched in the face and it became almost you could just say this is a domestic.
I think we got it. I think that we've got it. Yeah, this should be resolved.
Dude, if I'm right, that'd be fucking hilarious.
This should be resolved in family court.
Yeah, dude, if it all comes out that it was a gay lovers quarrel, that'd be hilarious, dude.
Dude, let's jump real quick.
There's nothing funny about that scenario. It's all choices, man. It's all choices.
Switching gears?
No, not switching gears. I just want to get to a couple more things.
Me and Tim shared a bed.
No, you mean switching gears?
Top 5 jiu-jitsu cities in the USA came out, and this came from Jiu-Jitsu Times.
Was Stockton?
They're real big.
Was Stockton?
Jiu-Jitsu Times is a real well-known, respected media publication. No, the top 5 cities: Los Angeles, Orange County, San Diego, New York City.
What you got against the ghetto?
Hold on, San Francisco, San Jose, and Las Vegas. Now, what do you guys think?
I don't know.
What do you guys really think? How do you think? What do you think Stockton ranks on the list of jiu-jitsu cities? About like 3,000.
Come
through and find out, motherfucker.
Yeah, but I will say this. Kurt Osiander has referred people to us. Hey, if you're gonna go through that way, go to that school.
Oh, we got a good shit going on, man. For sure.
I say that we are that cousin.
Whose feet can grip the ground and can't be knocked off balance.
Yeah, we're that cousin that is a cousin of the Gracies that they like Garcia or some shit.
We're cousins of the Machados.
Right. We're cousins of the Machados, but we know the shit and we're fucking nobody fucks with us, but we're just like, you know, nobody knows about us.
My name is Garcia Gracie.
We're that school. Because we've had people
Dude,
come from far.
I've seen a triangle that said Garcia Jiu-Jitsu inside the triangle.
That's awesome. So there's this Gracie Baja has been putting out articles, and they put this one out called "Love on the Mat," having a romantic relationship in the academy.
Oh wow!
What's hilarious is the writer leads off with a Maya Angelou quote: "Love is like a virus and can happen anytime,
it's
anywhere.
It's kind of like a boner,
just like AIDS.
Yeah.
Love is like AIDS. Anybody can get it if you're not careful.
It's like I always saw you as a training partner, but one day I was in your mount and my penis began to tingle.
That's the best fucking line they could find of Maya Angelou's.
This is what's funny. These articles, look, Gracie Baja, God bless their little hearts. These are some of the most shallow articles you could ever read. An academy should feel like home. When it doesn't, it can be a depressing feeling. It's like they wrote it in Portuguese and then ran it through a translator. It can leave an empty feeling.
You know what happens is the girl comes in. Let's say you start fucking the girl, and I'm jealous because I'm not fucking the girl that's training. We start beefing with each other. Then you start talking shit about me to her. I start talking shit about you to her. She fucking dips both of us.
She's
hooking up
with
Ernest.
Yeah.
He thinks we're a couple of bitches too now, and pretty soon we are all acting like a bunch of fucking bitches.
And then you split
over some pussy.
with your Ernest Mellow blue belt and start a school.
And then I go like this, like, hey, dude, fuck this chick, dude. This chick's running game on all of us. So here's the deal. We're going to fucking get her. We're going to take her out, and then we're all going to end up in the same place.
I'm the Peter Piper of the 1980s.
We're going to fucking hang out. Yeah. We're all going to be hanging out at the same place, and then fucking Matt's going to show up, and then I'm going to show up. And we're like, hey, we're all in the same room at the same time.
Let's do this.
She quoted.
Long story short, she's going to be walking funny for a while.
Whoever wrote the article quoted Pat Benatar, "Love is a battlefield" at the end.
You don't know about that, Ernest. I only have 2 words for you from what you just said, and that's Lloyd Irvin.
I have 2 words for you: double penetration.
Oh my God! Wow. Hey, let's move to the next story. This one.
No, look, wait. What she said about the whole hostile environment, home-like bullshit.
That's true.
I am probably the most notorious cock blocker when it comes to the academy. You know how many fucking a little tiny ember of a relationship.
Ernest is
step
like
on that shit. With my
this is
bare
what
feet.
Ernest does. If he sees a girl come in and he sees the guys getting too handsy or weird acting, he's like, "Oh, okay, you guys drill triangles," and then he pulls the girl aside. "You're gonna work with me. I'm pulling you out of the
You know,
mix."
actually, what
All
I do
right.
is I have her turn her back to everybody else, and I have her drill with me, so she doesn't see all the fucking silly ass juvenile antics behind me.
Because you're so adult-like. You're
Well,
so
it's
mature.
professional on the mat. I've seriously have stopped a bunch of shit before it even started.
Nah, it's cool.
Bro, she's hot.
There's
She's like,
this-
no, you're not.
I
You're
think
not.
this feeds into the 10 signs that you're a BJJ meathead. I wanted to run through these real quick.
If your head is like a hamburger, maybe.
Tell me if you're guilty of any of these. Unsolicited stories about all the street fights they won. This article's from Jiu-Jitsu Times as well. I have got a few of those. Yeah, street fight stories. Will try submissions while stuck in your closed guard. That happens from time to time. Try to key lock you or choke you, right?
Yeah.
Will
Punch you in the
breathe. Will
face.
breathe really hard in a grunting fashion when he is frustrated.
Nah.
You don't know anybody that does that?
I know.
That's
I
what I'm
do.
saying. No remorse in going 100% against a much smaller opponent and cranking a submission.
Nope.
Oh, I know someone.
Best coaching
Me.
advice is to go harder.
I like that one.
This I really think hit Matt a little bit. Really
What?
religious and misogynistic posts on social media.
I don't do that.
Listen, there's a bipolar characteristic to a meathead's behavior in social media. In one post, he will thank God and say something like "God is good." Then 20 minutes later, he'll tweet about his baby mama drama and hating all women. In between will be bathroom mirror selfie pictures. That's awesome. If you tell them you're recovering from a left shoulder injury, they'll
I would
tap
never
the
thank
shoulder
God
with
on
humerus.
Facebook because I don't believe in God.
Will show up in a group post-training photo at a rival school. Wished BJJ was MMA and loves to roll with new people. I love that. Right?
Yeah.
Good ones?
I don't like new
Yeah.
people.
Good stuff. Ah, dude, that's good stuff. Hey, I want to remind everybody real quick to check out the latest Girls on Grappling with Angelica Galval and Felicia O. You guys know Felicia O? She's pretty cool. She's down in the SoCal.
Yeah.
What does she look like?
White girl does jiu-jitsu MMA.
I don't listen to that one.
Y'all got MMA. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Val Ignatov.
We are young, hearted to heart, twisted. No promises, no demands. Love is
Guys, I want to remind you to check out the BJJ Tour. Go to www.bjjtour.com. Get ready for some great jiu-jitsu action in 2015. Over $50,000 in prize money spread out over 9 events. You definitely want to be part of this. Make sure you get on the tour this year. Go to www.bjjtour. It's home of the American Cup, the All-Star Tournament, and the U.S. Open. And the play-by-play is brought to you by yours truly, the Inside BJJ podcast crew. Make sure you check them out. Go to www.bjjtour.com. And welcome back to the Inside BJJ podcast. We are very excited to have joined on the line a 5-time Bulgarian national champion and a guy who placed second in the world championships for Sambo, which is a super brutal, tough martial art, a tough leg lock-based grappling sport, and we're really excited to have he's really an OG in this area, and you hear his name pop up all the time, the one and only Val Ignatov. How you doing, Val?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Dude, we're doing fantastic, man. I have Matt and Ernest with me in the house today.
We love Val Ignatov, man. You started this gangster shit in the Stockton area.
Yeah, dude. So recently we had Steve Heath on, and obviously Nick and Anderson Silva had a big fight, and so there's been a lot of heat on that. And we wanted to bring Steve on because Steve's one of these guys who is reached legendary status in this area, and he's really helped a lot of fighters. And you're one of the same dudes that has helped a lot of guys kind of get to where they are now. Can you walk us through just a little bit, like tell our audience, how you got out here to California and how you kind of started in martial arts?
Yeah. I came to California straight from Bulgaria, and back in Bulgaria, I was a coach of the army team of Sambo and combat Sambo. And once I came here to the U.S., there wasn't really any Sambo, so Jiu-Jitsu was the closest one to, whatever I was practicing. And, one of the first guys that I met was Steve Heat. He came to my gym one time. We started talking, and he says, hey, you should come up, there to Lodi sometimes. And at the same time, I met a guy, his last name was Valentine, Rick Valentine. He was a mixed martial arts promoter, and he says, hey, I know Bob Shamrock at Lodi. Maybe you should go and check him out. So I went to Lodi, and Bob was there, and Steve was there. And the first place we went to train was actually in Steve's garage. It had the mats. We have a old bag just wrapped up with duct tape. And pretty much, that's how it started. We started training there. Me and Steve became really good friends. I can say really almost like brothers. We trained together there. That's where I trained for, my UFC fights, with Bob Shamrock and Steve Heat. But yeah, it was, that's how it started. Later on, I met Cesar Gracie. He was the first, pretty much the only Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy that will allow me to do leg locks. Everybody else wanted to kick me out. So, but he was interested. He says, hey, I like this. How you doing this? How you doing that? So we became friends, and that's how the whole friendship started there with Nick. With Cesar Gracie and Steve Heat. But yeah, it was pretty much out in the garage on the 30 mat.
How did you get involved in Sambo in the first place when you were back in Bulgaria? And what was the transition like kind of moving to the jiu-jitsu world, especially because the jiu-jitsu world is almost anti-leg lock. Like it's changed a lot, but back in the day it was kind of like leg locks were almost like using a weapon,
Yeah, I will tell you. As soon as I came here, so I didn't speak English very well. I mean, pretty much I didn't speak at all. And I had a friend of mine that was a wrestler, and he says, "Hey, just come with me. We'll go work out." So I go with him. He takes me to this gym, and there's a Brazilian coach, Brazilian black belt, and I go there. I'm wearing my Sambo, Sambo Kutka, Sambo gi. And, they're looking at me funny, like, where did that clown come from? I have my wrestling shoes, my Sambo shoes, my short shorts, and everybody else is wearing a jiu-jitsu gi. So he's looking at me funny. He's like, hey, where are you from? And I said, I'm from Bulgaria. He goes, you know jiu-jitsu? I said, no, Sambo. And he looks at me like, what the heck is that? So he goes, okay, let's grapple. And so I started grappling with the guy. I did a shoulder throw from the knees, boom, from there transition to, foot lock right away, and he tapped. And then he looked at me, and, I never experienced that before, and he was mad. He was mad, and he wanted to get me really bad. So it took, 2 more times. I got him with, heel hooks and Achilles. And then after that, he kind of calmed down, and he started asking more questions, and I told him, hey, we grapple in Sambo, we do arm bars, we do leg locks, we do all this other stuff, and then after that, pretty much, the guy gave me the cold shoulder. I never went back. About, I would say maybe 3 months later, his students called me, and they said, hey, we need somebody to coach us. So actually, that's how I started coaching here in the U.S., but pretty much everywhere I went, where there was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy, they want to challenge me. And, eventually I'll get him with the leg locks. And then later on I found out they had no clue about it. And, Cesar, like I said, was the first guy that would be like, hey, that's interesting. How do you do that? How do you do that? And he was the first guy that got open. And but everybody that was just straight up jiu-jitsu, they rejected me. They did not like me.
You know what?
So,
what a lot of people might not understand about when you came like into the Lodi area, was training with Cesar and Steve, was that we had never seen any. Because I was there at that time at Team Shamrock 2000 and Animal House, and we never seen anyone that did leg locks like you. It was just. It was insane, and that's all we could talk about was you and your leg locks because you were killing guys with leg locks.
Yeah, nobody had a defense. And, and I'm pretty good. I'm pretty tight, so it was very easy for me to get them because nobody was defending them. And I was surprised at the beginning, I see all these guys and nobody does anything. Dave Terrell, you're probably familiar with him.
Sure.
Later on, he used to come to my garage and, the first leg locks, he learned in my garage. After that, he started doing them. He's a strong guy. He has a very good understanding about mechanics and the legs. And after that, he took his own thing. Now it's Conor Rosa. He's doing great things. But, the first leg locks, came from me. Pretty much, I'm proud to say that in the Bay Area, pretty much, the leg lock started with me. The most of the knowledge came from me. I brought it in. Ken Shamrock, before that, he had a couple of foot logs, but it wasn't anything, elaborate that, has a big system behind it. Just this couple of moves.
No, not at all. Everyone was scared. They were scared to death of Val, so no one had ever seen leg locks like that. It was crazy. I remember you would actually let guys put you in what they thought a leg lock was, and you'd be like, no, put me in it, really get it, and then once they really got it, then you would grab their leg and tap them out. It was crazy.
Yeah. It still happens. It still happens, the same thing.
I wanted to ask you this about, I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to.
No.
Well,
okay.
You got Paul Harris, who's like ripping guys' legs out, and he's very controversial. And and you see a lot of guys that go for legs and they just get smashed in the face and get knocked out. But he makes guys tap. Like, do you have a take on that at all?
I'll tell you what. I got no problem with Paul Harris. I do think that a couple of times he held it for long. He twisted a little long, and he's injuring guys on purpose. And when it taps. The thing is with the heel hook is this. There's a certain point, and once you pass that point, the leg's gonna start snapping. And sometimes if you're in the heat of the battle, it's really hard to stop yourself because you get close to that point, and guys are holding it until okay, I can hold it. And when decide that it's time to tap, it's almost sometimes it could be too late because the guy is already in motion. He already has every muscle working, in that direction. And then after that, so to me, if somebody gets in that position, it's almost like, you put a rope around your neck and you want to try to escape, right before you have your last breath. You can't do that, as far as leg locks go, you gotta know the direction you want to turn, when to pull the leg, what leverages you want to break. It's not, it's, I cannot point the finger at him and say, hey, you're doing something bad. But then at the same time, I know that maybe after the guy taps, he could slow down a little bit. But I can see how he's doing what he's doing.
Well,
again, yeah, go ahead.
Well, a lot of guys, they go for leg locks and they just get beat up. Do you think that some of these guys that go for the leg locks, and because they're trying not to break it, and because maybe they're trying to hold it to that certain point, they end up getting punched in the face instead of a guy that grabs the leg and they're like, I'm going to break this motherfucker unless you tap?
Yeah, actually, I have a couple of fighters that happened to that. Because after that, we're asking him, hey, what happened? How come you didn't finish that? And he goes, well, the leg snapped, and I didn't want to, keep going. So, and you let go for that just a little bit, and then you're right, they get punched in the face. But yeah, absolutely, I can see how that can happen. But this is the thing, though. After the tap, you should start letting go. Up to the tap, you go with a full force. The tap happens, and then maybe a little bit just for a second, maybe you go a little over, but that's it. Anything after that point, to me, it's not needed. But now it could look like because like the leg just snaps, boom, and then it looks like you applied a whole bunch of pressure after that. So it's so hard. I cannot read Paul Harris's mind if he's thinking, hey, I really want to break these legs, because I've broken legs myself, and I have to say that the guys didn't tap until it was too late. But then after that, I know within my heart, hey, I stopped applying pressure after that. So when exactly is that point? Really, the guy that has his leg caught knows when that thing happened, when the break happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So do you think that Paul Harris is just poorly trained with the leg locks? Like, he knows leg locks, but not to the refinement that you understand them. So I could see somebody doing that. Like, I know leg locks pretty well, but not well enough to know when I definitely have the guy. So he's just going overboard to compensate for the lack of skill, and he's become that guy who just injures people now.
Well, okay. So say I don't know how much he makes, but say he makes $30,000 a fight, and everything is on that. You got the leg, you have everything that's there. Your paycheck depends on that one. How hard are you gonna twist on it? I mean, if you have to answer that question.
That's a good point.
And you know what I mean? So that's that's the thing where that's why I don't blame him, because the guy that's fighting Paul Harris, he should be training, and he should if he doesn't know, he should educate himself,
Right.
And he should drill how to escape and not get caught in that position. Just like what was the guy that fought him and absolutely stopped his leg lock attacks?
Was it Belcher? Was it Belcher?
Yeah, Belcher. Yeah, great job. I mean, that's a guy that goes to fight prepared, right? If you're fighting a wrestler, you better know how to throw and how to defend the takedowns. If you're fighting a striker, you better know how to stop the jabs and the crosses, or how to avoid them, how to deal with it. If you're fighting Paul Harris, you better know how to stop leg locks, because he's going to get there, and you better be ready for it.
Isn't there almost a bias on leg locks? Like, if a guy grabs a leg and it ends up getting broke, they always say that you tried to hurt me, but
yeah, you hung on to it too.
Like,
it's weird, because if you snap an arm, people go, you should have tapped. You should have tapped.
Yes.
You didn't tap. But if you
Yes.
snap a leg, people go, oh, you cranked on that leg way too hard.
Right?
You're messed up. It's weird. It's weird.
I agree with you, and that comes from the Jiu-Jitsu culture. You will never hear that from a Sambo guy.
Yeah, right.
But because in Jiu-Jitsu, they're like, man, it's almost you feel like you're a douche if you go for the leg.
I know.
It's like, are you kidding me? It's like, oh, you're cheating. Dude, no, this is another limb out of your body.
Are we
and
just?
actually, it's bigger than your arm.
Are the jiu-jitsu guys just a bunch of pussies?
No. Well,
He's all, well, maybe.
Well, they just have an attitude. It's just like, well, I mean, and I don't blame them, because that's your culture that you're in. You're there. You're like, hey, we don't do leg locks. Every time you grab a leg, your coach is saying, no, this is not part of this, against the rules. Sport Jiu-Jitsu, or the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation does not allow to cross the leg over. You cannot do that. This is against the rules. So now somebody's doing it, and you're looking at him like, hey, this is cheating. So
they act like it's not technique.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I can see why there's that bias toward the legs.
It's just they're just naive, right? They're just uneducated about it. So, like, do Sambo guys do the same shit when somebody throws an arm lock in their academy,
Well, in Sambo you have leg locks, you have Kimuras, Americanas, you have all that stuff. I mean, it's fine. It's not a big deal.
So do you think that
it's the same thing? You got to tap. If you see, and when you're in a position to tap, right?
Right.
You know when you can escape. You know when you're pushing it. And, I mean, you know that very well, because you can feel it. And it's up to you. You're making that decision. You're saying, hey, I'm going to hold a little longer. And then you cannot defend it anymore.
Do you think maybe? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you think maybe it's because you get good at leg locks, and then you could come in and tap guys that are at a high level. Like, maybe you could be a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, but have really good leg locks and tap black belts out that are instructors, and that's not good for business.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. If you get in that belt system, I think that the belt system is a great thing. Because you can get a guy, and they can grow with the belt system. But then, there's this guy. He's a wrestler, right? He went to Ohio. I forgot what university, but a really, really good wrestler, and he started doing jiu-jitsu, right? So he's a blue belt. He goes, he beats all the blue belts on a tournament. I think it was like a nationals, something like that. So, and you would think, hey, this guy, he beat all the blue belts in the United States. He should get a purple belt. Well, the federation decides, no, he cannot, because he's been blue belt only for 6 months. And to me, it doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't, it doesn't go right with me, as far as the belt. So now you're saying, like me, in jiu-jitsu, I'm a white belt. I really am.
What a joke.
Yeah, I'm a white belt in jiu-jitsu. But yeah, I did a super fight one time for Cesar Gracie, Cesar Gracie's tournament, and I won against black belt, and I broke his leg. He didn't count.
Whose leg did you break?
I forgot. I don't remember names. I'm really, really bad with names. But it was 2000s, early 2000s. Cesar said, "Hey, Val, I got a super fight for you here for my tournament. You want to do it?" So I said, "It's cool." So he brought a guy, and I got the leg. I broke it.
Well, that's probably why we don't know his name. This guy got took out by somebody that none of the other Brazilians know.
You ended his career. He's in a wheelchair
now. He sent that guy back. He's selling oranges right now.
No, actually, I think I forgot his name. I really did. After that, I think after he recovered, he won Grappler's Quest 3 years in a row.
How many legs have you broken? Do you have a count of how many legs you've broken?
I would say maybe 5.
That's not that much.
That's a ton of legs to break.
How many?
5. That's not that many for a leg lock master.
Yeah, and also 3 arms too. So I'm not biased.
Well, hey Val, I've taken out a knee, but the knee was my wife's knee.
Ooh, that's not a good one.
That was terrible. Yeah.
Well, she was buying too much takeout. She wasn't cooking enough.
Yeah, I had to put the heat on her. No, but dude, so how did you tell us when you were in Bulgaria? How did you get involved in Sambo? Is Sambo really big in Bulgaria? Is it like the main martial art there?
Yes, I would say that. Now, Bulgaria is the number 2 country in the world. Russia's number 1 in Sambo. Bulgaria is number 2 in Sambo and combat Sambo. So, so Bulgaria is only 9 million people. I mean, if you think about it, I think that's kind of unique about, our kind of style of Sambo and Sambo. Combat Sambo. 9 million people. So out of these 9 million people, there's probably 3, 4, 5,000, maybe 10,000 most of the Sambo practitioners, that go and actually compete in the World Championships. Now, in Russia, back in the days when it used to be USSR, there was 200,000, kids competing, yearly. And so from the pool that they're pulling, their talent is way bigger than what comes from Bulgaria. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yes. Sure. Yes.
Sort of, kind of? Okay, anyway. So the thing is this, from, the pool that, the people that train in Bulgaria are not that many, as far as numbers. But yet we're capable of producing champions, and guys that are on a top level in the world in Sambo, despite the small numbers of people that are participating in the Sambo, small numbers compared to Russia and the other countries around the world.
Gotcha.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes. It's just the quality of it. So we have great coaches. The way I got into Sambo was, this is what happened. I was about 10 years old, and this is the true scoop. Me and my friends and a couple of girls, we went on a skating ring, kind of free skating.
Yeah.
And there was one dude, and he started picking, on the girls that we were with, and I was not happy about it, so I tripped him on the ice, and he was a really good skater. So he started tripping me back, And I was like, look at this guy. So I took my skates off and I waited outside for him. And then
Nobody's allowed to trip Val Ignatov back.
but we're kids still, right?
Yeah.
So, and you know, we started a little scramble there, right? So I figured, man, I better learn how to do, how to fight, because we didn't lose it. They kind of pulled us apart, but I realized inside, man, I gotta learn something. I need to learn how to start fighting. So the first place I went was a judo club, and the coach, he looked at me and he says, "Oh, you know what? You don't have talent." So he kicked me out.
He told you didn't have talent, and he kicked you out.
Yeah, because back in Bulgaria, this is communist Bulgaria. All the sports are free. You just go and you start training. And if the coach decides that you have talent, they keep you in there. The government is paying the coach and everybody else. So there were probably 25 kids that were my age that came into the club. And so he picked up the ones that he thought had talent, and he kicked me out.
So how bad does that hurt your confidence when someone tells you that you don't have any talent? Get out of here.
Man, he got me mad.
Now you're mad.
I was like, man. So there was that movie. It was called Undefeated, and it's a movie about the creator of Sambo. He went in Russia and did his thing, and he created Sambo. I watched the movie, and I got really inspired by it. I'm like, you know what? That's what I want to do. I want to be a Sambo guy. And so I decided that right there when I was watching that movie. And about 3 months later, one of my buddies, he goes, "Hey, Val," because, I kept talking about it. He says, "Hey, Val, I have this coach came into the school, and he said that they're opening a Sambo club, in our neighborhood. You want to check it out?" And, the first thing that came to my head was like, man, he's going to say that I have no talent. He's going to kick me out. And anyway, so I go there, and he looks at me. He lets us practice whatever he's showing. And then at the end of the practice, he says, "Hey, you," he points at me. And he goes, "Go against this guy right there." And I said, "But I don't know, how to do it." He said, "Just do whatever you can." And now that guy didn't realize, but I was thinking in my head, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I have to bite this guy, I'm biting him, but I'm not losing that, from that guy. So I went in and I just threw everything I had. I was throwing the guy around, and I beat him up pretty bad. And then I looked at the coach, and I said, I said, "Did I do all right?" And he goes, "Yeah, you did all right." So I looked at him, and I'm waiting for him to say, "Yeah, but you have no talent." So so I said, "Can I come back?" And he goes, "Yeah, okay, sure." So, anyways, I started training. That was my club, and I'm telling you, for about 7 years, I didn't miss practice. So yeah, from about, because I started about 10 years old until I was 17, I did not miss practice. I was there because, they'll have, we had the books where they keep the attendance and everything else. I was there. I was there all the time. I was training. And so the first year I went to the nationals, for my age group, I took third. And I was heck, man. Yeah, very upset. And then after that, nobody can touch me. I was training my butt off. I mean, even on the weekends, I'll be running out. Shoot, I'll be doing like techniques on trees, up in the mountains in the hills where my grandma used to live. Yeah, like breaking broomsticks, trying to do leg walks on them. I mean, whatever I can.
It's from a movie,
yeah.
of, that's awesome.
Hey, yeah, I was, man, I wanted it bad. It's like there was no way anybody's going to deny me that, And that guy that beat me at the nationals, it was on the semifinals. He got me next year, because he was the runner-up. He was supposed to, win the whole thing. I Kimura'd him in like 30 seconds.
Wow.
Oh, beautiful. How good did that
feel? Oh, man, it feels good. And then the best part is, so now 3 years later, I didn't realize, but my coach knew that judo coach. And, they were both part of the Bulgarian Army sports squad. So, the judo coach and the Sambo coach, they knew each other. So about 2 or 3 years later, my coach says, "Hey, we're going to have a little, practice, kind of, a little competition. We're going to go against the judo club, that we have here." and I didn't realize, but once they show up, I saw the coach and I saw a whole bunch of the guys that he chose, and his best guy was there too. So my coach put me against his best guy, and I destroyed him. In sports Sambo, if you take 12 points ahead of the guy, you get technical. So that's how I got the guy, and probably that was one of the best victories that I ever, kind of the sweetest ones for me. But I never told the coach because he didn't even remember me, But yeah, I took his most talented guy that day.
So being a champion Sambo guy in Bulgaria, does that get you a lot of chicks in Bulgaria?
No. Well, not me. Not me.
Not me. Not everybody else did fairly well in the talent
Because
area.
even in jiu-jitsu, if you're a jiu-jitsu champion, you're still probably not going to get that many chicks because of it.
Check it out. Back in the day when you came here and you started with Steve and all these guys, you guys are destroying people at all these super fights. Here in the United States, being Russian with the Russian accent and being a badass and beating dudes in public, did that get you a lot of chicks here?
No, man, I'm a relationship type of guy.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, sorry to disappoint you on that part, man. Yeah.
Well, man, you wasted a golden ticket, man.
It's so good, it's so good. It's all in the eye of the beholder.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I always wondered, Val, did you ever, you had your 2 fights in the UFC, and I think you may have had 1 fight after that. Did you ever think about going back to fighting?
Yes, I did. Okay, so this is what happened. So I got my first UFC fight, and the purse was $2,000. So, I get the percentage to my promoter, which was Bob Shamrock, and everything was good, right? So I ended up, bringing, getting to me about $1,200. So after the second fight, Bob Shamrock comes back and he gives me a check for $300, and he said, "This is your purse."
Oh God!
And I looked at him and I said, "What do you mean, Bob?" And he goes, "Well, I paid your taxes, I paid for your ticket, I paid for your hotel, for your food there, and the ticket and the hotel was UFC anyways. I know that he didn't spend money on that one, but paying my taxes. So basically, he robbed me out of money."
Wow.
And back then there was not many people that actually had connections, to fights where you can make a living out of it, And actually, Matt Hughes, he wrote a book, right? And in that book he talks about me, the guy that was super talented but kind of disappeared out of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you read his book anyway.
I did actually.
But so. Oh, you did? Yeah. So he's like, probably I quit because he put a bit in me, but that's not that's not at all what happened. Is Bob Shamrock gave me $300 check, and here I have no family. I have to support myself, whether I like it or not. So I had to start a job. I had to start working, and I started. Yeah, go ahead.
Didn't if I remember this correctly, it was a long time ago. Didn't Jens Pulver kind of betray you on that one and give Matt Hughes some info on your late game?
Oh, yeah, that's so I'm going against Matt Hughes. I'm getting ready for him. I knew certain things that he does, his habits, and so I set my traps there. And one of the things that he does is if you hold him in a close guard, in all his fights before me, he'll kind of posture up, stand up on the hands, on his legs, straight up, and then he will start striking with from there. But instead of from his knees in the guard, he will kind of stand up. So if he did that, then his legs are gone. Now, about 6 months before the fight, Jens Pulver, who was my training partner, left. He went to just camp. And so I fought with Matt Hughes, and he never did what I normally he would do. So after the fight, he says, "Hey, Val, your best friend, Jens Pulver says hi. He showed me everything you do."
Oh,
I was like,
dog.
son of a, yeah. Yeah, so Jens Pulver screwed me up on that one, but I kind of blame me for, and the reason why is it was kind of still early on when I just came, so I used to train with the gi before that. Actually, that would probably go into that topic, training with the gi or no gi for MMA. I recommend if you're gonna fight MMA, don't train with a gi. I think that it will play against you in the long run because naturally I was looking for something to pull and kind of hold on when I was going against Matt Hughes, kind of being used to a gi, and then for first time, back then you have a really good wrestler that can hold you down, can control you, and you're having a hard time to push him off. If you're used to a gi, you're screwed. But if you're used to no gi, it's going to help you out. Tremendously if you train like that. But anyway, so yeah, Jens Pulver screwed me over on that one.
A lot of people in the local area felt like maybe Bob put you into the big fight a little bit too soon because you had no previous MMA fights under your belt. And do you think there's truth to that?
Absolutely. If I have a fighter that I think has a potential, I wouldn't. It's like this. So so I fought Matt Hughes, and then before that, before him, I fought, what was the guy's name? Oh my God, I forgot.
Evan Tanner.
Yeah, Evan Tanner. Evan Tanner. Now, this is probably the equivalent. Is if you are, so if you would have fight in the 170 about 2 years ago, when JSP was a champion, it's like fighting. Your first fight is against the number 2 guy in the 170, and your second fight is against the champion. And these are your first 2 fights you ever fight, in a UFC. So absolutely, I think that was a screw up. As far as my manager, putting me up against way bigger competition. I should have had at least 1, 2, at least 3 fights on a lower level where I get used to it more. Absolutely, I agree with that.
By any chance, did you hear about or even perhaps hear the interview that Ken Shamrock did with Stone Cold Steve Austin?
What did he talk about?
Well, he just, I mean, everyone kind of knew this already, but the way he put it, it kind of shocked me. He talked about Bob basically being gay and that Bob had a relationship with him that wasn't quite right. Not that anything happened like that, but that Bob was looking at him in a way that he shouldn't have been looking at him, basically, is what he was saying.
I'll tell you, I heard the stories. Now, as far as me, I never even got that feeling from him. He was nice. He was nice. As far as being gay, doing anything gay, I never. Later on, somebody told me about it. That he might have been this and that, and I never saw it. I never saw it. So I don't know him and Ken. I don't know, but I have heard that he is that way. Well, he wasn't married. I never saw a girl around him. But that's all. That's all that I know about it. But to be honest with you, he did have friends that were gay. So I guess yes.
Pretty tough though if you're in Bob Shamrock's situation and like if you are Bob and you have an attraction to these fighters, kind of hard to really like actually do anything because it's basically a bunch of dudes that kick your ass if you cross a line with them.
It's just really a numbers game. You just get a lot of fighters around you. Like you're playing the one out of 10. Come on, you get 100 fighters in there. Now you got 10 possibilities. And they wrestle.
Man. Yeah, but the thing is, if you do something to those guys and they don't like it, you get knocked out. And
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's worth it. If you go for it.
Maybe he liked the risk. He liked the high risk encounter.
Did you ever get a chance to train?
Yeah.
Did you ever get an opportunity to ever train with Ken Shamrock?
No. I got there right after he left. When I met Bob. Ken was gone and Frank was gone, so there was none of his sons were there.
And then also, I'm just wondering, were you around when Nick first came?
Yes. Actually, I remember Steve. He called me one day and he goes, "Val, you have to check out this kid that came into the gym." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "That kid, Nick Diaz." He goes, "This guy is something else." So, I went there, because I was going to Lodi anyways to teach there sometimes and, train with Steve. So, I looked at him, so I'm teaching a class. And, Nick is, maybe 16, his mom's bringing him to the gym. And, he's there, and then Nate is kind of, smaller, just kind of like a walking around in the gym, sitting in the corner, kind of like just waiting for the time to pass. And I'm showing a move. And then I move on from one group to another, right? And then I'm telling you, like 10 minutes later, Nick is teaching everybody how to do the move. And I just kind of step back, and I'm thinking, look at this guy. And he's telling everybody, this is how you got to do this. So I'm telling you, the first time I saw him, I can tell that this is a special kid. So, we started training, and maybe a month or 2 or 3 months after, I first met him, I pulled him aside, because you can tell just grappling with him, just doing stuff that he is just a different kind of animal. And I told him, hey, Nick, if you stick with that thing, with this skill, one day I'm going to see you, UFC champion. And he stuck with it, and he fought for the title. He had a fair chance to take it. I wish he stays with it, and I'm sure that if he stays with it a little longer, because he's almost there. I absolutely believe that he can take it.
So what was your role? Did you have any role? Because we played phone tag back and forth. We were messaging on Facebook trying to set this up, and when we were going to do it, you said you were in Vegas the day that Nick was fighting. So did you have a role in Nick's preparation?
For this fight with Anderson Silva, not very big. The truth is, he trained with me one time. We worked on a couple of things. His camp was set up differently this time. For GSP, we trained a little more. For this one, it wasn't that much. I went to the UFC day in Vegas with the intent that I'm going to be in a corner. At least, that's what Nick said originally. And in the last moment, Cesar took my spot in the corner. So, which is,
that usually happens with Cesar, right? Seems like Cesar likes to do that, right?
I guess. Yeah. For that one, I felt like he wasn't right. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Do you have a take on the outcome of that fight at all?
Oh man, I'll tell you. I think that Nick could have taken that fight. To me, it was close. He could have won both ways. I don't think that if they gave it to Nick, people would have been surprised. He went to Silva for whatever reason. But I do think that Nick could have pushed a little more. I think he could have applied more pressure and take it. Nick was close. I mean, it was close to take it. Personally, I would love to see Nick push him against the cage, take the back, finish the fight there. I don't.
Sorry, go ahead, sir. I thought the same.
I
thought maybe if he would have threw a few more takedown attempts in there, and then even maybe if he would have just stood there and pressed it a little bit and tried to finish him, I thought he may have gotten him.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah, and Nick trained with Joe Shue for that fight, so it was mostly striking. Like I said, he didn't really train with me that much. I did have a couple ideas for him that he could have used really good against you, but if he fights him again, it would be great. I really hope that he fights GSP again. That one's going to be really good. I hope he wants to involve me in it more. It depends how his how his caps are set up.
What were you thinking in the first round when he lay down in the center of the ring? Nick wants to get to the guys, and every time I'm kind of like, okay, what is he going to do now? And that was unexpected. It kind of, because one of the things that you don't want to do against Silva is just chase him around. So you got to get him to fight. You got to get him to move forward and throw punches, right? So you can actually fight him. Because Silva is naturally counter defensive. He's a counter guy, and he will slip a punch and then he'll hit you hard. Every fight he fought, that's exactly what he does. He'll counter punch you, make you miss, and then he'll punish you for it. It kind of sucks.
That's something. And it sucks. I mean, devastating knees, devastating elbows, devastating clinch. I mean, you don't want to go and chase the guy. So you got to get him to go forward. And that's one of the ways that we made him. It's like, hey, I'm going to lay down, man. What are you going to do? And and then Silva started coming forward after that. He actually turned into somewhat fight. But you understand where I'm going with it, right?
Sure.
Hey, every time I'm like, okay, what is he gonna do this time? Because he don't talk about it, at least to me. He doesn't say, hey, Val, I'm gonna lay down on him, or
Do you think
I'm
maybe
gonna
he
say
did?
this or I'm gonna say that.
Do you think maybe he didn't even know that he was going to do that, but when he got in there, it all just came to him?
Oh man, I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I mean, knowing Nick, he's spontaneous like that, so I don't know.
Have you talked to
it's
him
hard.
since the fight?
I'm sorry.
Have you talked to him since the fight?
Yeah, after the fight we talked, and he was like, "Man, I'm sorry, I didn't win this. Didn't win this one. He did want to win. And I think probably he thought he did enough to win the fight. Which, I mean, the judges in Vegas, man.
Yeah,
I
they're never going to give him a fight in Vegas on a decision.
No, when he fought Condit, right after the fight, I went to eat dinner there at the hotel, and the judges' table was right next to me. They were eating dinner right next to me. The judges that scored that part, and they go, I'm just listening to them talking, and they're like, "Can you believe the way Nick Diaz talks? I mean, this is crap. This is unbelievable. This is unacceptable. So they're talking shit about him the whole time.
Wow.
And you
That's
know
bullshit.
they have bias. Yeah. And then let me ask you this: how many times Nick won a decision in Vegas?
Never.
Never, exactly, because these guys they don't like the fact that he talks.
He's
But,
lost
hey,
every fight that went the distance that was close, and he lost every damn time.
So let me ask you this: as a fighter, if you know or you have the idea that the judges do not like what you're saying, even though it shouldn't matter, really, these judges are most of the judges don't really know enough. They make bad decisions. They don't understand. A lot of them don't understand the ground aspect at all of fighting, and it's getting better. But do you think that it should even matter what a competitor says? And if you are that competitor, do you change what you're saying just because you think you might be losing fights, or do you just keep it up?
Yeah, okay. So, talking in a fight is not against the rules. I've never seen, in the rule meeting before the fight, the judges or the referees come in and say, hey, it is against the rules to speak in the ring. You cannot say nothing in the ring. There is no such a thing. I've never seen it. So, so talking in the ring is not against the rules. And it's a free speech, so you can say whatever you want, really. It doesn't really matter. Now, as a fighter, if you know that that's affecting your fight, okay, this is my take on it. Me, if I have to fight, and I know that I need to do certain things to put me in a position where I'm ready to do it, and I'm ready to fight, and that's the way I believe I should be, then I'm going to do what I need to do to get my groove on. If talking makes me better, then okay, I will do that. If talking will make my opponent make mistakes, then I will do that. Because, in reality, Nick never went the distance many times. He pretty much destroys guys, once things going. So it takes one mistake for your opponent to make, and if you can put him in a position where he can make that mistake, I'll take the chances. The judges really, I'll probably think, screw the judges, I'm going to do what I do.
Yeah, in order to sell fights, in order to be popular, you have to talk, and that's one of the reasons why people want to see Nick is because he does talk. And if he stops that,
he'd be Jake Shields.
There's guys like John Fitch. He's a great fighter, but he's not that entertaining, and so people don't want to see him. And the UFC, even though it's a sport, it's still a promotion, and these are still
It's
prize
a spectacle
fights.
more than a sport.
That was the thing with Jake Shields when he was a Shudo champion for I don't know how many years. They hated him because he just sucked. He won in boring fashion. He chipped away Kyle Terra style, and then he left. That was it.
Yeah. You guys are funny. So, okay. I believe that people want to know what fighters think. I think that's entertaining. We want to know, okay, what is this guy thinking?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And if you don't see, probably the only guy that was entertaining and he didn't speak much, was probably Fedor. But the thing is this,
Yeah.
because he had the he has the same look for everything. He's almost like an enigma. It's like a mystery. It's like, okay, what is he thinking now?
Yeah.
You know, how does he feel now? And then, but so he has the same face, but still, you know, he's captivating in a different way. You know, now, you know, Jake, he goes, you know, the way he fights too, kind of sometimes, you know, it's kind of boring, but still he wins. But then, yeah, you should tell people how you feel. You know, whether, but you know, just going back to Nick, you know, thinking about the judges, I just want to say that. So now, you know, I'm fighting a guy, and I'm thinking I want to bust his teeth out, right? I just want to split his lip. I want to rip, you know, big old. I want to get his eyes swell up, and then the next thing you're thinking, you know what? But I gotta be nice to the judges. I gotta talk. You can't do that. You know, once you think damage, you think destruction. That's how you keep thinking. So your mind just goes with it. And you know, Nick doesn't have a filter on it. You know, Jake doesn't say nothing. Nobody knows what he's thinking. He just goes and wins. You know, if Jake talks like Nick, I think he'd probably be more sellable. Yeah.
Val, you should have put every single one of them judges there in heel hooks.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome. So what's coming up next for you? I know that you're teaching at the CSA gym, right?
Yeah.
And that's Combat Sports Academy. That's over in Dublin. And our listeners, if you're in that area, you could check it out if you go to csagym.com. What do you teach there? Are you teaching Sambo? Are you teaching mixed martial arts?
Well, okay, yeah. What I teach is, you know, it's Sambo, but really it's a combat Sambo with no gi, which is pretty much MMA. It really is.
I see.
Yeah. So now, you know, I'm working with Alexis Davis, you know, for her next fight.
Now,
you know, we did some.
Who's she fighting coming up?
Sarah Kaufman.
That should be a nice fight. How do you think?
Yeah, they fought 2 times already.
Yeah, how do you think her development is coming? Because Alexis Davis, like, she, you know, obviously she had a tough fight against Rousey, but, you know, everybody's having tough fights against Rousey. But she made it to that point. Do you think that she can kind of retool a little bit and get back on that path and challenge Rousey again?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Hey, think about Matt Serra and JSP. One hit, boom, JSP falls down. We all get caught. And then JSP talks about, hey, you know what? I just lost it for 1 second, you know, and I get knocked out. Sometimes you can lose the fight with one strike.
Yeah.
You know, with Alexis, unfortunately, it happened at the very beginning of the fight. You know, she goes to throw a jab. You know, Rousey comes with an overhand. You know, rocked her and then, you know, threw her down, and then, you know, from there start striking. So they solve the fight. So you get caught one time, you know, against somebody that's very experienced, he's going to cost you a fight. And you know, everybody may say, oh, maybe she was not. No, dude, it's just sometimes that's what happens. I can go over and over. Remember when Ken Velasquez fought a Brazilian guy, the boxer, that took him from him the first time.
Santos?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he threw an overhand and knocked him out. And then if you judge off of that fight, and it happened pretty early, right?
Yeah.
That first fight, it happened really quick. So now Ken Velasquez loses the fight, and everybody's saying, oh, he does not belong there. Are you kidding me? It doesn't. Sometimes we get caught. You know, it could happen to anybody. So this is what I see, you know, as far as Alexis, that's what happened. You know, she was ready for that fight. It's just that overhand, you know, got her balance, everything. She got dropped on the ground. And if you've never been hit in the head hard, you don't know what it feels like. But it takes some time to recover and get your senses back. And so she got into that position, you know, strikes, it looked bad, boom, the judge calls it, that's it. You know, you're done. But you know, in the last couple of years, that's the only loss she has. She beat pretty much everybody else, you know, going up to that point. Yeah. And I think that she can get back there and you know, she can fight Ronda again. You know, if Ronda stays a champion, cause, you know, you never know if that fight with Cyborg happens. You don't know which way it's going to go.
And she's also got to fight Kat Zingano coming up.
Kat Zingano's got a good chance.
Yeah.
If not, I think Cyborg is going to straight rave.
But again, you know, Ronda is a beast.
Oh, yeah, she's a beast.
We all agree on that, yeah. But yeah, Alexis Davis is going to be back there. You know,
Nice.
she works hard. She's a hard worker, man, and she has improved. You know, striking and everything else. Like I said, man, I just felt bad. It was just a bad luck that day. It wasn't her night.
Hey,
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you real quick about a couple of people that came out from, I think, under you and recently had some success. Dominique Robinson, James Chaney, and Vic all won their fights. Aren't you a part of all those guys?
Yeah, they came with us. They trained at CSA for a while, you know, before they moved to Vegas. You know, Dominic, and very explosive guy. You know, love those guys to death. You know, hard workers. When Jerry Cheney went and did the UFC tournament, tough. You know, he was training with me there. You know, he did pretty well.
Now, did you teach him how to bite out of? Are you the one who taught him how to bite out of guillotines? I'm just kidding.
Wait.
I just think he bit somebody.
You know,
I was just joking.
Yeah, the biting part was not from me. I'll tell you that.
That's not part of the Sambo system. Not combat Sambo?
No. Yeah, okay, it is part of the ultimate universal self-defense system, yes. Biting is part of it. I mean, you know, you can bite, you can poke the eyes, you can, you know, kick in the balls, I don't care, you know, for survival. But it's not part of the combat Sambo deal. You know, biting is not part of it. I think he read Mike Tyson's book before that.
Hey, one last since I got you here. Dominic Robinson, he beat Joe Daddy Stevens. How far do you think Dominic Robinson can go in MMA?
Oh, Dominic can go far. This guy is very explosive and very intelligent, you know, as far as fighting. You know, if he can stay in shape, you know, keep his health and just the way he's going, I mean, he is a very dangerous fighter. He's been around for a while. He has a lot of experience, and dude, the guy is dangerous. He's a good fighter.
I agree. I think we'll see him in the UFC soon.
I hope to see him in the UFC. You know, a whole bunch of the guys that are fighting in the UFC, actually, he beat them way back in the day. You know, he had some health issues, but he's past that now. You know, he's back in shape. He's back winning. You know, love that guy. I'm very happy for his victories. You know, he beat Joe Daddy, but before that, he fought this guy from Jackson's MMA. There was a fight in Guatemala. I don't know if you guys are aware of that one. It was a pretty good guy. You know, that guy is one of the uppercomers that was from, you know, Jackson MMA at that time. And you know, he knocked the guy out. So he's been doing good. You know, he's been training really hard. Yeah, the guy's an awesome fighter.
Hey, you know what? We talked about the biting as part of the Sambo system. Did you ever get a chance to train with Oleg Tiktarov? Because he would come down and train with Shamrock, and I know you said you were here when Shamrock was already left.
Yeah.
But did you ever get to train with that guy?
No, he was going way back. You know what I think back to that? I think everybody kind of caught up with Bob that at the end of the day there was something that more that he wanted. You know. Right. You know, something, and they said, hey, it's not worth it for us to stay here. And kind of the same thing that happened to me, probably they said, hey, you know, I don't have future in that place.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why it shut down, obviously. There's a story when we talked about biting in the Sambo system. There was a friend of mine that was in, I can't say the Gracie's name, but there was some Gracies in the room. It was a seminar with a bunch of guys, and Tiktarov was there. And he was showing a triangle, and they're talking about counters to submissions and blah blah blah. And Tiktarov was there, and they're like, you know, how do you put a triangle on? It's effective. And Tiktarov, the guy who was putting the triangle on, was a Gracie. He didn't see what was happening, but people that saw it, fucking Tiktarov was getting ready to shove a thumb in his ass. And he was like, he had one leg, and he had the back leg up. So his butt would raise up in the air, and he had the thumb ready, dude. And then the people that were on the other side were like shaking their head, like, "Don't fucking do it, man! Don't fucking do it!" So he stopped and he just tapped. It was hilarious,
dude. That's you're right. That's hilarious. And you want to know what else is hilarious? Is when Steve Heath came on to the podcast and came here, he was on the floor in this room demonstrating triangle defense, and I put him in a triangle, and he literally palmed my ass with his hand, and he lifted me up, and he said, look, a lot of people don't want to do this, but this is the proper way to defend the triangle. And he didn't oil check me, but I felt violated. I felt extremely uncomfortable,
Well,
man.
Steve
I was
doesn't
not
know,
okay with
Steve
it.
does no gila, so you would grab the belt if it's jiu-jitsu, right? With the
Yeah,
gi,
that's a good moment. You got to make a decision, you straight or not, right?
I was like, man, dude, I don't know what's happening here.
But you know what? Sambo is a lot like it's cousin to judo and wrestling,
Yes.
you know. And if you know something about wrestlers, they're dirty, stinky motherfuckers who will do whatever it takes to win. Hey, that's not what they teach in school, but I've been fucking fingered by a lot of dudes in wrestling matches, dude. And
On wrestling trips.
it definitely gets a reaction out of you, right? And Val, you've got to, especially with your art being a lot below the waist, you know, playing with legs. How many people have tried to do something to your ass to get you to let go of a lot? There's got to be at least two, right?
A foot in the ass at least, right?
Okay, so first of all, I would never admit of being old chick. I would never admit that.
Well,
man.
we're a new generation, so we're okay with it.
Yeah, so sometimes when you go for leg locks, and I'm guilty of doing that as well. You know, that leg that is between the other guy's leg.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you can put your foot or your shin, right on the reproduction area is, and you can apply a lot of pressure there. So I catch people that way.
You know what? You know what's funny is because when I first got a hold of you, I told you that I met you through Eric Shingu, and we used to do a lot of leg lock submissions because of your exposure to Eric Shingu, so that wasn't taboo when I first learned jiu-jitsu. It probably made my guard suck because we were so used to just slapping on a leg lock whenever our guard got threatened. But there was one particular guy that was like doing it for longer than me.
Yeah.
And so I got him in I had never successfully got anybody in a Achilles, and I was about to tap him, and he was fucking not happy about it, dude. Toby, I'm gonna get Toby on the Ernest show. Toby, he fucking jammed he must have learned it from you. Now I know where. He jammed his bottom foot that it was underneath his butt. He scooted his he scooted his toe underneath my ass and pointed his big toe up. And I was like, "Hey, motherfucker!" I let go. Fucking dick. And I was like, "What a fucking dirty bastard!" And I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah, no wonder jiu-jitsu guys don't like leg locks, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah. If you're
right?
getting violated all the time, it's not worth it.
So Val, man, dude, thanks for taking the time to talk to us today. It was a pleasure, dude. Awesome stories, and it's always great to get some old school guys on here and get you guys some credit, man. The pathway that you laid for us, we really appreciate it, dude. Guys like us wouldn't be training if it wasn't for guys like you.
For sure. Hey, do you do seminars? Are you on a tour or anything?
Yeah,
Nice.
I do seminars. I've been to Texas. I do some seminars around the area here. Yeah, anybody that would like to get a seminar at Combat Sambo, I'm open for it. Yeah.
How do they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me if they go to the CSA's website.
CSAgym.com.
Yeah.
Right.
They can do that. They can Facebook me as well. Val Ignatov on Facebook. Pretty much everybody wants to be my friend. I bring him in, and they can message me on it. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me, actually, Facebook nowadays.
Sweet. Well, we're gonna have to have a 209 reunion. We have to bring you back to Stockton,
Dude, that'd be so
during
awesome.
we usually do a whole month towards the end of summer where we go all no-gi. So that's about the right time to start throwing leg locks in at our school.
Oh yeah.
That'd be so fun.
Hey.
Yes.
Hey, not only leg locks, Kimuras, man. I got some sick stuff. I got some sick stuff that
Nice.
you guys are gonna love. Yeah.
We love Kimuras.
Yeah. Sambo doesn't end up, with leg locks. We got arm bars, we got Kimuras, we got a lot of stuff there that will blow your mind. I mean, it's hard to me to explain, but you know how everybody defends Kimura. If you're in your guard, you're attacking Kimura, and they grab the leg on the inside of the thigh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably, 85% of the defense you're going to encounter against anybody else. I have a move that will guarantee that you're going to break that defense and you're going to finish that Kimura. It's a 100% guarantee, man. I sound like those guys that are selling...
A little bit, yeah, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, you sound like you're going to sell me real estate right now. You can get rich with no money down.
Hey,
LloydIrvin.com.
Not real estate, but the guys that are betting on football games.
Yeah, there you go.
Basketball.
It's a lock.
I'm telling you, Yeah, I'm telling you, that's a lot. That's 100% guaranteed.
Hey, we believe you, man. Like I said, I was in awe of you when I first met you. It was in that little piece of shit dungeon downtown Stockton that Eric used to run. It was our home,
Yeah,
you know. We loved it, but I wasn't allowed to look at what you were showing Steve and Eric, you know. But I would sneak peeks over there, and then every now and then, I think after about an hour of training, they brought me over. So I think one of you guys cranked on my leg to show everybody, and then that's how I was brought in. But hey,
did
dude,
it hurt for 2 weeks after that?
no, you were. I don't think it was you. I think if it was you, it would have been pretty nice. But I think it was somebody who didn't know it as well as you. So I was lucky.
Yeah.
So, man.
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, no, but normally, you know, once your leg gets kind of tenderized, it takes about 2 weeks to recover.
Yeah.
Well, then we won't have you back in Stockton.
Yeah. On second thought, you know what?
No, we're gonna have you down for sure, man. If we map out the time, I'll get back with you later, and then we're gonna bring you to Ronin for sure, because Stockton needs a footlock revolution. We need a taste of Sambo, open up everybody's game. So
For sure.
You deserve.
Right on.
Everybody needs to know about you again over here.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I love that stuff. You know, grappling, you know, Sambo MMA, it's my passion. You know, we have our jobs, we have our things, but this is my passion, and it's one of the things that is going to stay with me until the end.
Yes, for sure, man. Thanks for checking in with us, and we'll definitely be in touch in the future, man. Want to let our listeners know you guys can get a hold of Val. Go to csagym.com. They're located over in Dublin, California. Shoot him a message on Facebook, Val Ignatov, and get your leg lock game tightened up, son. Thanks a lot, Val. We hope you have a good one, man.
Yeah, absolutely loved it, guys. You guys are great.
All right, thanks, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Val Ignatov. Dude, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Mr. T, and I'll be right back. We want to grow home.
I just like that so much, Mr. T. I'm Mr. T with one to grow on. So, hey, real quick, I want to let our listeners know while we're still on here that we got a promotion set up with Caveman Coffee. If you go to cavemancoffee.com, let me verify that you are easy. Let me see here. It is cavemancoffee.com.
They come in these sweet-ass designer packaging. It's pretty badass. They're color-coded, so I got the white one because they told me that's the one that's like the closest to meth.
You like that one?
Yeah, so I put that in. I just dumped that whole freaking bag in my my Vitamix, and then poured it back in the bag. It's got this little sweet little vacuum seal where you can squeeze all the air out. Then
it's so good. The
so
coffee,
cool.
I can't even. If you have not had
Look
this
at that
coffee,
coffee
it's
mug.
single origin, single estate, single family. The beans are grown, washed, dried, and roasted by one family. It's a father and son team. They do it up in Colombia, and it's amazing. These guys do a fantastic job. Tate Fletcher and Keith Jardine. Tate Fletcher, dude, I'm going to go out and say this. Tate is one of the coolest dudes we've ever worked with on Inside BJJ.
He's cool as shit, dude.
He's cool as shit because he's motivational and he's pumped, but he's also real.
Denzel Washington did whoop his ass, though. So
he did.
I don't know about him.
And when he was in Breaking Bad, he did get killed at the end, and I was kind of a little bit bummed about that. But, dude, when I saw Tate on Breaking Bad, I was like, that's my boy Tate. No, but, man.
He gets his ass kicked a lot, but he has some good-ass
Tate
coffee.
is super cool, and the coffee is fantastic. If you go to cavemancoffee.com, use the promo code INSIDE, INSIDE. That stands for Inside BJJ. Use the promo code INSIDE. You could save 10%. And, we got a little relationship going on with them. It makes us look good. And, dude, look, you're going to drink coffee, right?
You're going to drink coffee.
You're going to get up in the morning.
I'm drinking coffee.
What are you going to drink when you get up in the morning?
Fucking Folgers.
You're not going to drink that shit.
Sanka.
Are you going to Starbucks? How many people are going to Starbucks on the regular?
Probably a lot. Yeah.
If you took that and instead you got yourself some Caveman coffee, right? You could see what we're drinking right now. This is the Caveman blacklisted on the screen right there. It's good shit,
It's
man.
hella good. Seriously, like
it's good.
It isn't like if you drink a bunch of coffee, make sure that's all you have. If you have a fucking banana with your breakfast, you're gonna fucking hello to heartburn, dude. Especially
Right.
if you're over fucking 30, dude. This shit.
It's smooth.
This shit is so smooth. It's low acidic. It's fucking delicious.
Yeah, so go to cavemancoffee.com. Use the promo
And
code.
look at the mug, dude. It's so badass. It's
Yeah.
It's a little kettlebell.
It's a little kettlebell mug.
Little kettlebell.
Check them out. Go to cavemancoffee.com. Use the promo code INSIDE, and you'll get 10% off. And
Pirate as fuck, motherfucker.
I love that shirt.
And it helps us out, man. We got a good thing going.
And it
with
helps.
these guys.
It helps Tate Fletcher to get some more jiu-jitsu lessons. So
Support the word fuck.
Old black dudes like Denzel don't beat his ass anymore.
Yeah, and also Tate is going to be showing up on Loveline, I think, next week with Dr. Drew. So make sure you check that out.
The new
I want to
Adam
hear
Carolla.
Tate Fletcher talk about making love.
Oh yeah, dude. I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't even want to think about that. So we'll take a quick.
He ain't eating that much pussy with that beard. I'll tell you that much right now.
Oh,
that beard has holding
It's
a lot
very
of,
abrasive.
It's a lot of flavor. It's not. It's a flavor. That's a. Oh, jeez. I didn't want to get close and smell that beard.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
It's a delicious beard.
That was ridiculous.
Fucking Rolling Stones, dude. Fucking start.
And welcome back to the Inside BJJ podcast. This is the part of the show where we take some listener phone calls. The way it kind of works is Matt kind of lines these up because I don't really want to talk to people that listen to the show. I feel like, I don't have anything really important to say to them. But Matt likes to bring them on, kind of throw them a bone. And I'm trying to keep Matt around, so I want to do this for him. Looks like the first call, we got Tony lined up in Davis. Tony's calling from his bike phone right now. He's probably a bike messenger right out in Davis riding a fixed wheel. What's up,
Probably delivers
Tony?
Chinese food or something.
What's going on, guys? I'm actually a newspaper boy, not a.
Awesome.
That's there's only newspaper men now. There's like basically newspaper.
You might get pussy if you're delivering the newspaper.
He's so
It's
gangster.
possible.
He's so gangster. He refuses to use a fucking car to do it. He's like, fuck that. I'm old school. I'm putting that shit on
Seriously,
a bike.
if you're an adult and you deliver newspapers, you should have to register on a website
Hey,
where
fuck
people
you,
can
bitch.
look your
I'm
ass
not
up.
rich like you.
Rad, dude. That's hilarious. Tony, what's shaking, dude? I know I catch up with you on Twitter every now and then. I see you post a lot on there. What's going on, man?
Nothing, man. Just gearing up for Pan Am's right now and trying to whip into shape and try to get at least past the first round this year in Pan Am's.
Can we get your measurements real quick? How tall are
Yeah.
you?
I'm 5'10". Right now,
Right.
I'm like
You're right now.
185.
You're fat.
Are you a soft 185 or are you a lean 185?
Doughy by the answer.
I'm in the middle. Like I'm a soft but lean 185. I'm still got a little.
Are you
fat baggage.
Hispanic at all?
I am Hispanic. I am.
Ooh.
Okay,
Do you wear a fedora?
I do not wear fedoras.
You
My
kinda-
head's too big for those.
Are you light skinned like De La Hoya? Or are you dark like a Camacho?
Ooh, man. I would have to say I'm light skinned like De La Hoya.
See, I'm picking up on like a Wilder Valderrama dude
Yeah,
from
but that's a dark
that
one, though.
70s show.
That's a
I'm
dark
picking that vibe up from Tony, though, that he might have a body type like that.
Yeah, I could see that. I
Yeah.
could see a little
Yeah.
fed to me.
What
You're
belt
like
are
a
you?
light skinned Fez.
I'm a purple belt.
Purple belt, okay.
Hey, do you train with Tony Perez?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, the real question is, how much
Tony
can you
Perez?
bench?
How much can I bench? I refuse to state that because I do not bench press.
Dude, your mount escapes must suck ass then if you can't bench.
They do. I like getting mounted. I like balls on my chest.
Matt really likes it when we train the mounted triangle
This
on
is
him.
the same. Oh, dude.
He's
I
like-
asked if he trains with Tony Perez. This is the same
This
Tony
is
Perez.
This is
I
Ernest.
didn't listen to the last name. I knew it was a Tony. I was busy ripping on cuckolding Brian.
Ernest is constantly busy listening to himself talk and processing his own words to understand that we're actually talking to the guy
I'm
that he
self-aware,
thinks we might be
motherfucker.
talking to. So,
No,
dude,
Tony
Well,
came down and
thanks, Ernest.
I rolled with Tony, dude. He came down. He was cool as shit.
so man, what's your how'd you get into the show, and then what is your least and favorite part of the show?
Say Ernest.
Let's see. How did I get into the show? I was looking for some podcasts. I'm always listening to Joe Rogan, Eddie Bravo, and all those other ones. And so I wanted some for jiu-jitsu base, and I came across you guys, and man, I've been with you guys for the last 3 years. So
3 years. Do you got premium?
Yeah.
You got premium?
I do have premium, man. I went premium and I got promoted.
Did it
So,
change your life, huh?
It changed my life, so I love premium. I love all the extra stuff.
Hallelujah.
When you clicked on premium, did you feel like a new awakening? Like, people talk about when they get baptized, when they come out of that water, it's just like they've been born again. That's why they say it's
Oh, yeah. I
like,
felt my spirit renewed inside of me.
did you feel lighter on the mat after you clicked on the confirmation?
Did you speak in an unknown tongue? Did you speak in an unknown tongue?
You started speaking in Portuguese or Japanese. Which was
I started
it?
speaking in some, like, Hallelujah, you know what I'm saying? That tongue, that Holy Spirit of paleo. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, So, but yeah, I started listening to you guys like the last 3 years. I have a landscaping business, and so I listen to you guys throughout when I'm working. And but yeah, you guys are awesome. I love Ernest. I think my favorite moment was that Ernest called one of the Rice brothers gay.
That was a good one.
I saw that dude like about
that
a
was a
month
great
after.
one. I mean, the dude, I think he probably is gay because he couldn't respond well. I think
I've always wondered.
The lead is when Matt cuts everyone off.
Oh, shit.
Hey, let's go to the next call right now.
No, but you guys are all great, man. You guys all bring a great part of the show, man. Every one of you guys. So,
dude. So I mean, if I had to cut somebody, who would you recommend that I cut?
Estella.
Is that a man crush?
No, I'm just
What
saying.
was the question?
If I had to cut either Matt or Ernest, which one do I cut?
Oh, which one do you cut?
Or myself.
Say Tim.
I don't know. Matt gives me a lot of love on Twitter.
See, this is why you're not going to win.
Ernest,
You're
yeah,
not
you're
going to win
talking
Pan Ams unless you have a killer instinct, Tony. You need to have a name on the tip of your tongue. Cut him, Freeman. Cut him, Mello. Cut him, Matt. Like right there. I'm not picking that up from you, man.
I would have to cut Matt.
Oh, I think we need to pray over Tony.
We need to pray. Let's say a little prayer.
Let's all be quiet.
I feel somebody needs to recommit themselves to jiu-jitsu right now.
I'm not saying a prayer for this motherfucker. He wants to cut me. Fuck you.
What would Reverend Framar say?
Reverend Framar would not say no prayer for this motherfucker.
Oh, dude, you just killed the prayer segment. I'm like completely trying to feed this guy a Reverend Framar prayer segment, and he's like, fuck you. You said to cut me.
Nope.
You're out, Tony.
No prayers.
I'm sorry.
No love.
I'm sorry, Reverend Famar, but I
He's
would have
paid
to
his
say-
tires, man.
Well, I
I'll
tell you
take
what.
my
I tell you
time.
what. I tell you what. I tell you what I'll do, motherfucker. I'll counsel your wife. It's some private counseling. Or your mother.
Uh-huh.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Don't preach it.
Hey, dude, Tony, man. Thanks for listening, dude. It's
Hey, good luck at Pan Am's, man.
For
Fuck
real.
somebody up.
Hey, can we send you an Inside BJJ T-shirt?
Absolutely, guys.
All right, right on. Can you got Matt's info? Can you tweet him or not? Don't tweet him, but maybe text him your address. Or I just called you, so just text this number. Just text me your address, and I'll get one out with your size. I know you're 5'10", 185, but you're probably XXL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm not that Oaxacan, so.
how far does your hairline go down? Does your hairline almost touch your eyebrows?
No, they don't.
Okay, that means you're not. from deep
one more
Mexico.
question. One more question. How many women have you been with?
So right now?
You know, I would right now. I'd just say one. My girlfriend listens to the podcast as well, so.
Hey, dude, thanks for listening and being a good sport, man. You know we're a bunch of morons here. We really appreciate it when folks call in, dude. That's awesome. So be sure to send me that address, dude. I'll put some stuff in the mail for you, man.
Absolutely, guys. For
All right,
sure.
best of
All
luck
right,
to you,
man.
brother.
Good luck,
All
Tony.
right, bye.
Later.
Let's jump over
What a
to let's jump over to Brian in Kauai. What's up, Brian?
What's happening, guys?
What's up, brother?
Doing good, doing good.
Are you on ice right now?
Are you chasing the
Not
dragon,
on
sir?
ice. No dragons, no ice. But
what are your
I'm on
measurements?
you guys are gonna ask that. I think it's pretty funny too. I love it when you guys used to read the fan mail, and everyone would start their sentence. I'm a 122 pound one stripe white belt. That was my favorite stuff. I wish you guys would bring that back. But me, right now, you mean today?
Yeah.
Today, right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah,
After-
right now.
after-
What are you walking around at right now?
After I dropped a big deuce, I'm 150 pounds of just chiseled marble right now.
Chiseled marble.
Chiseled marble.
Oh, you and how tall are you?
5'11".
I thought you were going to say
You're
5 foot.
You're a little light in the loafer
I'm
there,
pretty-
aren't you, fella? Like, you might want to put some weight on.
I'm pretty much identical to Tiny Jake.
Oh, that's all they eat is fish over there.
Do
so.
you know Tiny Jake?
Yeah, I grew up with him.
He's a Class
No
A
shit.
weirdo, right? He's a super weirdo, right?
He's got really good jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, he does.
Dude, I love Tiny Jake. 'cause-
Would you say it's Lloyd Irvin good, or would you say it's Jiao Perini good?
Oh my god.
Or
Jesus.
would you say
He would say none of that, dude.
Ernest is obsessed with Jiao Perini.
You mentioned him 3 times today, dude.
I just been wanting
For
a
those
massage
who don't
lately,
know,
that's
Jiao
all.
Perini, he's in jail for molestation, right?
Well, he's
Well,
not
he's in there
jail.
for massage, dude. Come on, dude.
No, he got
if giving a
deported.
massage is illegal, then me and Tim would be
Wasn't
in
that
jail.
Jiao Perini, the guy that molested some
Yeah,
kids?
he didn't go to jail. They
Oh, he didn't?
deported
They
his
deported
ass is
him.
what
Oh.
they did. He was
Well, he
given
went to
his
jail, then he got deported.
he was giving his teenage students massages. And I guess they
Do
decided.
you guys think do you think Ernest would possibly be the most perverted black belt there?
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Oh,
by
dude,
far.
I haven't ever been busted for massaging teenagers.
If
'Cause
you
you're good at it.
were cuckolded by Ernest, you would know that's true.
Someone told me Ernest is working on a new move. He's perfected check your oil, but someone told me he's working something out called change the tranny.
He does love trannies.
Dude, Ernest is following this whole Bruce Jenner development extremely close. He's really looking forward to meeting the man.
Does
You
he
look
like
like
a little
you-
bit
you look like you-
defensive and emotional.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, yeah, you look like you could use a change of tranny fluid.
Jake is one of these guys where he walks in, he looks like he was sleeping under a park bench, right? He's all
Probably
like
was.
barely walking, he could barely straighten up, and he's like, "Yeah, bro, his hair's all messed up. I got a gnarly footlock I learned, man. You want to learn it?" Then he proceeds to get on the mat and like ape out, dude, and tap everybody out.
He
But
doesn't smoke weed, but constantly looks stoned as fuck.
Yeah, dude, we
Half
love Tiny
awake,
Jake.
half stoned,
Why wouldn't
malnutrition.
you? At that point, yeah. Why would you even bother?
Right? Nah, Jake is a super cool dude. So, man, tell us how'd you come across the show?
I found you guys on iTunes, I think.
And
I think I picked up around episode 40 in the 40s or 50s.
Oh, that's because we're on
And
the
I-
hot list all the time, so we're easy to find.
Yeah, right. Episode.
Yeah.
What was the hook, dude? When you first heard it, did you think it was totally
These
stupid?
guys are douchebags.
I was just getting back into jiu-jitsu, so I was all fired up. I was nerding out on jiu-jitsu.
And so, because a lot of nerds, they listen to the show and then they get upset and they're like, "As a man, it's offensive. These guys are sophomoric and they make a lot of dick jokes."
Yeah. This guy, fuck those guys.
Yeah, that's
Fuck those guys. That's exactly what I said.
right.
You can't have humor anymore nowadays. You know, it's ridiculous.
So, what did you hear on the show the first time you listened to it that made you listen to us again, or not click off right away?
I think it was just one of those things, like hanging with the boys. You know, it just sounded all too familiar.
I think that's the general vibe that everybody picks up on is that we just kind of sit around and bullshit like we just got done training and we're sitting on the mats and we're like, "Okay, Matt, show us your anus." And he's like, "No." And we're like, "Come on, show it to Uncle Ernest." And he's like, "No." Kind of like that vibe, right?
And then he's like, "Oh, all right, you guys talked me into it."
All right.
One of those. Yeah, I've been there.
He
I've been
did
there.
give me a blue belt, so
It wasn't for
nobody
free.
else. Nobody else would have.
Those
Oh, blue
things.
belts. Talking about blue belts, you never asked my rank. You
Oh
got
yeah.
my weight.
What is your
my-
rank?
It's pretty funny 'cause I'm a blue belt with
Now.
one stripe,
Right now.
but I accidentally promoted myself. I rolled so hard I tore my stripe off, and then I got around one day and I put 2 stripes on, and I got to class. I'm looking around, I'm like, oh fuck, I think I put an extra stripe on my belt, and
Oops.
I creeped into the corner and peeled it off and came back on the mat all undercover. It was completely ridiculous.
You train with Bruno out there? Who do you train with?
I'm on the south side with Luke Hacker.
Nice, dude. That's rad. What's your
bench?
Yeah, how much can you bench?
Oh, I go by kilos because it sounds a lot.
Yeah,
a lot more.
Of
so
course.
well over 300 kilos.
Damn, dude. Okay,
Today's Sunday. It's a rest day, right? Sunday's rest day. So today I'm only benching. I just bench. I do like 5 different bench sessions today.
I do.
The rest day.
Brian's he's writing it down. I'm going to do regular bench, incline, decline,
Flat.
pec deck flies, butterflies.
That's they're like protein and carb loading over there. They get like a handful of macadamia nuts, 2 whole mahis,
A coconut,
coconut oil and or milk, both
Right.
if you can get a hold of it,
some poi.
and some poi for flavor.
Yeah, boy.
And then they put that in a shake, they put that in the Vitamix, and then they just drink that shit and they just bench all day.
How good is the heifer in Hawaii?
Oh, world class.
Do you surf, Brian?
Yeah.
Are you
Got
like,
it. I grew up on Kauai. If you don't surf, you're blowing it.
dude? Are you like one of those guys that's like, if you're not a local, go home, brah?
Oh, definitely. 150 pounds of just chiseled marble. Are you kidding me?
Do you
People
ever?
take one look.
And
They took one look and they go the other way.
how many women have you slept with?
Right
Lot
now?
of tourists.
Right? Are you
Let me-
talking
let me-
like human women, or are you talking like foul?
Even the ones you paid.
I'd have to grab my calculator, my little black book.
Bro, I had a
Take
friend.
a couple days.
I had a friend that lived on.
My hero.
I had a friend that lived in Waikiki, dude. He's busting ass. He spoke Japanese and all that shit. He's trying to get us to move out there with him. He's like, dude, the fucking tourist chicks that come out here, dude. He was just talking about how it was just like a revolving door, dude. He said some of them that come out, they come out with a group of girls, it's fucking over.
Hey,
dude.
do you ever turn up the Hawaiian bit, like when you see some tourists, like you just really lay it on thick, like, hey, what up, brada? How you doing? You want to get some Ono Hawaiian barbecue or anything like that?
No, I only used to do that in college days when I was on the mainland and trying to get laid.
I did that to Jake once, just messing around, and then he got real rough with me. I decided I wasn't going to joke around that way anymore.
Dude, we never did that to J-Con. We should have took him to Ono. Like, hey, dude, make you feel at home.
I did that to him before.
Did you?
I
That's
offered to
fucking
take him
hilarious.
to Ono, and I said, "You the man, brada," and all kinds of stuff.
Oh.
And he kind of
It'd
gave
be
me
funny.
Isn't that like taking an Australian guy out to Outback Steakhouse?
Right,
Exactly.
right. That's funny. We have to make that a bit anytime we get a visitor now to take them to the most stereotypical place ever.
And speaking of an Australian guy, Brian, thanks for bringing that up. Andrew Copeland, big listener of the show, right? He's from Australia. He hit me up, and I just want to read this while you're on, Brian, and I want you to give the response. He said, hey, man, I just got finished listening to the Danny Castillo podcast. Freaking brilliant. The last 40 minutes or so had me in stitches. Keep the podcast coming and maybe reply to a message once in a while. Andrew from Australia. And I'm like, what? Maybe reply.
Oh, that's funny.
That's like right back soon. Yes or no? Will you?
I would instantly cancel his subscription. This is premium. I charge them double.
You know, I'm not even going to fuck his wife.
Oh, my God.
No cuckold for you. He's a cuckold Nazi all of a sudden.
The Reverend is not going to sleep with his wife.
So, dude, what's coming up for you, man? You got any big tournaments coming up, or what do you do in Kauai?
I'm a photographer, but I'm kind of a hobbyist jiu-jitsu guy.
What kind of
You know,
pictures
I'm older.
you taking?
I don't take it too serious. I got kids.
Oh, yeah.
But I just, I enjoy getting better. I'm just trying to get better and have fun with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of at that place where it's just I just want it to be fun right now. I don't want it to be like super competitive, serious. I just want it to be fun. Like, I don't want a bitch to tap me out or anything, but I want it to be fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, he laughs. Yeah, I get it. What kind of pictures you take, dude?
Mostly like cheesy wedding.
Oh,
Wedding
nice.
stuff.
That's cool, though. I bet there's a lot of like destination weddings in Kauai, right?
Yeah, it's huge over here, of course.
Any bar mitzvahs out there?
I feel like the Jews aren't properly represented in Hawaii. It's like not a lot of Jew action.
They like the heat, but not the moisture.
Yeah.
It's bad for the skin.
Right.
Tim, I actually had a bone to pick with you.
What's up, dude?
Every time my man, Matt, just blows it out of the park with one of his intros, you come in and you just rain on his parade with your monotone.
Yeah, I agree.
You shrink his intro as if it almost never happened. I like it, too, when you really like his intro, then you go, good job, Matt. Good job.
He's
Like,
No,
I'm doing
he's
karate
saying-
kicks in the air. I'm punching my fridge. I'm getting so psyched. I can just picture Matt, like, spitting and spit flying into the microphone. He's getting me so psyched, and then you come in and just, like, squish it.
Here's the thing that you got to understand, Brian. Matt Freeman, he basically goes into a trance when he does these, and he He turns into Zeus from
He
No
does.
Holds
That's
Barred.
Zeus. That's right.
And
or Brother Love.
brother, he goes crazy. We have to turn down the headsets. Like everyone else's headsets, we got to crank them down. We got to turn down his mic way down because he's so amped up that if I come in behind him and I push on that, he'll lose his mind. He'll completely lose it. So I got to come in like the goddamn teacher from Ferris Bueller, Ben Stein, and I got to come in like, nice job, Matt Freeman.
Anyone?
Just to reset the level, dude. Just to get us back to like a normal place where we can do the rest of the show.
And then too, like Matt is like a fucking ADH kid who's just been spoon-fed sugar. And you give him a Red Bull and just slap him on the fucking back of the head and tell him, "Go nuts, kid." and then when he's going to, hey, now it's time to come inside. It's time to come inside. You can't be like, "Hey, it's time to come inside." You got to go, "Hey, man, you did a really good job playing with the other kids."
Has Matt ever passed out doing the intro? You ever tap him still out?
I thought he's come close. That'd be awesome if he does.
He's gotten pretty worked up though, right?
I love it. It's the best.
I don't know, maybe.
The best, Brian, are the intro outtakes because there's been some days where, like,
dude.
he just for whatever reason, and then we'll start fucking with him, and we'll do like 8 intros in a row before he could actually nail it, dude. And he gets so mad, dude.
Dude,
This
seriously.
is super fun, man.
Have you seen any of the YouTube shit? The Gracie Nationals a couple weeks ago.
He did a brilliant intro.
Dude,
there.
he fucking knocked that shit out the park. He got everybody so pumped for that Javi fight.
Let me tell you what happened. Matt said
I missed that part.
Oh, dude, you got to check it out, dude.
Get on YouTube and check out those.
Yeah, all our listeners, check out the Gracie Nationals 2015. Matt was saying, like, kind of the first day, like, man, you know what? They need someone to do an intro. Right? Weren't you saying that?
Stop it. Let me tell the story because you're going to fuck this thing all up.
He's going to fuck
I was not trying to be the fucking ring announcer, number one.
I was right fucking there.
I get there.
Were.
No, I wasn't. Fuck you.
You wanted it.
Fuck
you. Fuck you. You wanted it. You wanted it.
I said they need a ring announcer to make I was supposed to be a color commentator, not a ring announcer. No, I said they need a ring. Then you tell me, dude, you're ring announcing.
You were
like,
all
what?
up in the
I'm ring announcing? No, I wasn't. Right, and then I want to work. I want to work on this fucking shit and get it down. These guys want to go out and fucking, have a couple of drinks and party a little bit. And I want to work on what I'm going to say tomorrow. So they give me no help. They're just like, oh, you got this, bro. Don't even worry about it. This is all you. You got this. And I'm like, I know I got this, but I got to figure out what I'm going to say. So then I get there, and they're like, I'm not ready. And they tell me you're going to go in 5 minutes. I'm like, what?
And he fucking destroyed it, dude. You know what? Look, I'm going to say, look, Matt. Don't interrupt. You said your piece.
Fuck you.
Listen, though, I was fucking as close to you as I am now. Probably closer at the time. And because we were kind of, there was some weird shit. And we were like, we're going to get out of here for the day. We were done. And you said, you guys should have a ring announcer. That's what you guys really need to get the crowd hyped up. And I looked at him and like, motherfucker. I'm like, but he can pull it off. He's fucking suggested it, so don't say anybody sprung this shit on you, motherfucker.
It was sprung on me. I wasn't trying to be the fucking ring announcer.
What you did was you suggested it and didn't think anybody would pick up on it, and then fucking somebody did, and then Tim fucking made it happen for you, and then you were
like, he made it happen for him, not for me.
I went directly to Rose Gracie and I said, hey, Matt would love to announce these guys tomorrow. He's going to be awesome. What do you say?
I'm told. Then they tell me wait till what's the guy's name? Santos. That when I give you the nod, you start into the announcing. So he gives me the nod, but then Rose says we're not ready. She has to do some shit. And then now Santos is not ready, and now Rose wants me to start announcing, and he's not ready. He's still talking at the broadcast. Rose is fucking screaming at me, "Go! Fucking start this shit already! Go, go, go!" And I can't because Santos is still talking. And then I finally get to cut into it. It was fucking crazy.
So listen.
Yeah,
dude,
you know what? I'm going to pull it up right now. You
listen
guys
to
talk
this
for a
really
second. I'm
quick.
going to grab it.
This shit's pretty badass. Like, I mean, his line, like, he was so sweating on, like, oh, what do I say? Blah, blah, blah. Should I say this? Should I do that? I'm like, Matt, do your shit. You know exactly. Just let it flow.
No, I didn't know exactly. That was my point.
You're the fucking man, dude. And he was, I said,
Hey,
dude.
Matt,
Go ahead.
Matt, it's been a really long time since you've put in one of those tell your wife and kids to shut the hell up.
I should go back to that.
Yeah, we should, huh? Tell
your wife and kids to shut the hell up.
Tell that nagging whore to shut her dirty mouth. Dude, that's hilarious, dude. I do miss that. I seriously, like, I cracked up when you said you're fucking punching your fridge and doing high kicks in the air and shit. Because I get so fucking pumped when he does his intros too, man. I feel the same way.
Hey, let's listen real quick to his Gracie
It's
National.
psyched.
This is. Can you hear that, Brian?
Yeah.
All right.
It's not going to start for a minute, I don't think, because there was a lot of
I skipped past some of that
Okay.
stuff. Matt's going to get the cue.
There's a lot of pussy there, man. Let me tell you.
There's clapping. What
I
happened?
told my wife,
now wait a minute.
The sound's all fucked, right?
Yeah.
They fucked up the sound.
70 pounds.
Oh, here we go.
No point.
Hold on. Let's just listen through this.
It's right there. You got unlimited nationwide, right? You're good?
Nationwide is on your side.
This is the shit right here.
It's coming, dude. Relax, Matt. You're all nervous about this, man. You did great.
Fuck you.
It's done. You did it already.
Event of the 2015 Gracie Nationals. There will be no points. There will be no advantages. Victory will only come by way of submission. Fighting in the red rash guard, 5 feet 10 inches tall, 170 pounds, from South Brunswick, New Jersey. This man is no stranger to submission-only jiu-jitsu. A Metamoris veteran with a Metamoris record of 2-0, with both wins coming by way of submission. A black belt under the legendary Tom DeBlas. Ladies and gentlemen.
What happened?
Tim fucked up again.
No. They messed up the audio, dude.
Sure, dog.
They
Good job,
blew
Sure Dog.
Opponents,
This is the part that's really badass. This is worth it.
145
Hopefully they fuck that up.
from Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Dude, they fucked it up. Ah, we're going to get a
Wait.
better one. Now
Wait, when he says the Showtime part.
WEC veteran, former WEC veteran, former King of the Cage lightweight champion. This man represents Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, a Carlson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt. It's showtime! Javier Vasquez!
Let's go, Javier!
You know,
Too bad Javi got beat.
that didn't give Matt your due justice, dude. That was fucked up. I got a better version I took on my own phone. I'm gonna yank out. We're gonna play it.
I don't care because
That barely got me hard.
Yeah. But it did get you hard, though, right?
Hey, Brian, can I?
His little Hawaiian trannies fucking hook it up.
Hey,
man.
little Brian, can I send you a T-shirt, man?
Yeah, sure.
You wear like a size tiny,
What
right?
what size you wear, buddy?
Extra tough?
How about I'll send you a large and you'll like it? No, hey, no, thanks for calling, dude. Shoot me a text to the number I called you on. Just send me your address and your size, and I'll get something out for you.
And next time you see those fucking guys from the Inside BJJ podcast, tell them not to fucking mock me like that, bro.
Did you
I'll
like?
send them the message.
Did you like the the bounty hunter and BJ interview?
No, I didn't.
No, yeah, way to bring it down right at the end. Hey,
Look at the accents were so shit house. But I like it when you guys try.
Dude.
Ernest, I think you finally hit it with your Conor McGregor.
That's pretty good.
You know,
Strikeout. You've done some serious strikeouts, but the Conor McGregor was solid.
no, I've done strikeouts. What the fuck? All I do is spin
See,
gold.
you're talking to a man that's an extreme narcissist, and he cannot believe he's ever struck out. He's like, what?
No, wait, seriously. What about the what the fuck's that douchebag from Britain's name?
Michael Bisping.
Yeah, what about Bisping?
It's all right.
Bisping's not bad, but you know what cracks me up about all three of you guys is you can't pronounce fucking anything. you don't get one name right, nothing. Nothing's pronounced correctly. It's hilarious.
Okay.
What about
Yeah,
Kyle
we've gone whole shows and got the dudes.
Now I
name
feel
right.
like
wait, Kyle Terra.
And I know
on.
some of it's for witty comedic banter, but a lot of it
Yeah,
you guys
that's
are
it.
straight cannot fucking say anyone's name.
you know what?
You
you
know
know what,
what?
Byron? You're a real asshole.
No,
And,
you know why?
Bit
Seriously,
deal.
I'll speak for myself. You know why I don't pronounce anybody's name right? Because I don't give a fuck.
yeah, narcissism.
I don't give a fuck.
My problem is
Just don't rank.
I'm doing too much talking, and I'm twisting knobs and looking all kinds of crap, and sometimes I straight up say things wrong. That's for sure.
Matt
your
does.
only-
I think Matt does it on. If there's anybody at this table that does this shit on purpose, it's Matt.
It would be
I do
Matt.
not.
You would. He'll
What was
do
he
it for-
calling Ronda Rousey for a while?
He called her Wanda Wowsy.
Wanda Rousey for like a year.
Dude, hey, Brian.
Wait. I gotta hear now.
She
He
wasn't
said
Ronda
strikeout.
at
He
the
said
time.
Hey,
strikeouts.
can
I
we
gotta
all
know.
stop so he can
Wait,
soothe
Kyle
Ernest's
Terra,
ego?
spot on, right?
I couldn't hear that.
Kyle Terra, right? That's spot on.
Kyle Terra?
Yeah.
You're back in the good graces, Ernest. You nailed it.
All right, Kyle
Yeah,
Terra.
boy,
All right, that's all I need to know.
That was a pity. That was a pity
one.
compliment. Yeah.
Hey,
I heard that Caio Terra was training with Jal Perini.
Oh, he probably started with him. That's probably how he got into it. Like he wasn't even given a choice to do jiu-jitsu. He probably snagged him from in an alley in the favelas and said, "Hey, kid."
Kid,
That's the first time
Hey, Twinkle Toes, you're coming with me.
That was the first time I ever felt a need for self-defense.
Hey, kid, you like massages? Hey, hey, kid, this is Krusty the
You
Clown.
know what's funny is that Jal Perini looks like Gargamel.
Does he? I haven't seen a picture of him
Pull
in
up
years.
pictures. It's hilarious.
Brian, thanks for calling, dude. Sorry we're total freaking idiot morons, but send me a text and I'll get something out to you. All right, brother?
Right on, brothers. Thank you.
All right. Thanks,
All right.
Byron.
Keep up the
Bye.
good work. Thank you.
That was
Thanks.
Byron in Kauai. Byron in Kauai. Thanks, Byron. Nice job. Good work, Byron. Let's take.
I was like, "You fucking idiot! That's his name's Brian." And you're like,
I know what his name is.
I know I got it, fucker, because
Let's. This is the
caveman
part.
Coffee's helping me think better.
Yeah, this is the part of the program where we give our Countermove Fantasy MMA picks for
Oh yeah.
UFC.
I was training with this girl. We were rolling on the mat.
UFC 184.
Her gi came wide
It's
open.
not that kind of fantasy.
And I could see her titties.
It's not that kind of
And I-
fantasy. It's not that kind of
I
fantasy.
can see your titties.
Let's.
What an
And I
idiot.
said, your titties are hanging out. She says, I know. I wanted you to see them.
That's a
I
different.
tied my
fantasy.
belt loose on purpose.
Let's see here.
And then instead of passing her garbage.
Ah, fuck it. We're gonna take a quick
No,
break.
no,
We'll be right
come on,
back.
come on.
And welcome back to the Inside the BJJ podcast. Like I was trying to say earlier, this is the part of the program where we do our Countermove Fantasy MMA picks, and we got UFC 184 is right around the corner. It's next Saturday night. The big fight is Ronda Rousey, Kat Zingano, and we're going to give our picks on the main card, and we're going to start and power through this and see what you guys can come up with. I want to let our listeners go. If you go to InsideBJJ.com, there is a counter move banner on the right-hand side, and you can click on that. It'll take you to the free game. The link is probably not going to be active, though, probably till midweek. So if it's not active the first time you check, make sure you come back. You can win some money. I've won a little bit of money, and it's quite fun to play. Gives you a little salary cap, and it's cool beans, man. All the
You
cool
won
kids
money?
are doing it. Yeah.
There's no God.
I won $3 on it, so it's awesome. I got good picks, man. What can I say?
You won $3.
It's not my fault you're a deficit gambler. Okay, you degenerate.
You mean degenerate? Yeah.
No, a deficit because he owes. Get it?
Speaking of
I
owing,
get it.
Get it? Okay, let's do this. Tony Ferguson, Gleason Tybau. Gleason Tybau is 40-10, and he's wearing like a fake muscle shirt. It looks like the one Giant Gonzalez wore. No, it's real, but doesn't it look like he's got that shit on?
Yeah.
He's going up against Tony Ferguson.
I
I'm
thought-
going with El Kukui.
I thought Tony Ferguson was a real asshole on The Ultimate Fighter, one of the bigger assholes they've ever had on the show.
Really?
He was a real dick. But he seems to be a great fighter. He gave Danny Castillo a hell of a fight, and he won by decision, but he probably should have lost. The judges like Tony. I'm going to go with Tony.
I'm going with Tony.
Go with Gleason.
Gleason. I think Gleason is a good fighter, but I think Tony's on his way up right now.
Gleason is the South American illegitimate son of Jackie Gleason.
And they named him
you can
Gleason.
tell by the hairline. He couldn't take his father's last name because it would have been a huge scandal, so they gave him the first name Gleason.
There you go.
And he kept his mother's family's last name, but
To the moon, Guadalupe.
A successful genetic gene pool is going to emerge somehow. It's going to find an outlet, and Gleason just chose not comedy or acting, but fighting. So.
I still can't believe they have Munoz on this event. It's crazy.
It is crazy. Let's jump to the next card. It is Alan Juban and Richard Walsh.
I got to go with the Jew.
I'm going with Alan, dude. This guy is a specimen, dude, and I think he's going to turn out to be a really, really good fighter. You could tell he's kind of feeling his way through some of it right now, but he's super dynamic, super athletic. And Richard Walsh is thinning a little bit on top, as am I.
Do you think you're picking him because he's a Jew?
Yeah, I'm going with him because he's Jew. What do you think?
I'm gonna go with Allen just because I like that name, Allen. It just sounds like a solid American name. He looks all chiseled, like maybe I play water polo.
He's kind
The
of
other
hot,
guy-
huh?
The other guy on the right, like you said, he's thinning. He's like, this is the peak of him being in shape. That
I wish
guy
I knew
fucking-
the walkout music.
You're kind of right. No,
Alan
no.
Joban looks like he could fucking hit taco truck 5 times a day and still look like that.
So I think you're onto something, dude. For real, Alan Joban looks like he could get in better shape than what he's in. Like he could get even more buff and even more shredded. Richard Walsh looks like he worked his ass off to get where he's at, and as soon as the match is over, this belly's going to start. He's going to go
look
from a 6-pack to a 2-pack.
Yeah, he's gonna look exactly like me in about fucking 5 weeks.
So
Plus, his name's Richard Walsh. He kind of sounds like a fucking serial killer.
Walsh, his nickname is Filthy. What do you think, man?
I think you're both wrong. I think Filthy puts Juban on his back and taps him out.
Ooh, nice. All right, number 11, Jake Ellenberger, the Juggernaut.
This is a tough
against
one to call
Koscheck.
because they both. Ellenberger slipped a lot, and I wonder how hungry he is anymore, and I wonder how hungry Koscheck is. Koscheck does need a check, so like he's probably pretty broke right about now, so he probably really needs a win. It's a tough one to call, man. I'm gonna go with Ellenberger though.
I'm going with Ellenberger. I think that Koscheck is a great fighter, but I don't think he's at that level anymore. I just don't. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't know how bad either one of these guys want to fight anymore. Personally, I'm not sure.
Well, I have a.
Ernest is like, I don't know either of these guys.
No, I do know Josh Koscheck, and I had one fight ever, and it was supposed to be a fight for first timers, and this fuck showed up out of shape, but still a physical specimen. This dude still had veins running through his quads. He showed up out of shape and couldn't finish his guy, but tortured him for fucking 3 rounds because the guy was trying his best. And he just boxed the fuck out of the guy. He shouldn't have been there. He had no place being there. So he basically showed up, lied about who he was, and did a douchebag move and fucked somebody
So
up
who you going with?
for like $200. Koscheck is a fucking dick, dude. I don't like him. I hear so many stories of people that know him. I'd like to see that guy fucking not just lose, but fucking be humbled and fucking demoralized so he never fucking fights again or teaches anywhere, because I've heard places where he's fucking infected schools
Really?
that he goes to teach. Yeah, he just
I
fucks
don't
them up,
know.
dude.
Maybe we could get Koscheck to call in. That'd be awesome. I'd love to talk to him.
Do it, dude. I'll be like, yeah, I heard you were a dick. Yeah, Ellenberger, dude. Just because I don't even know nothing about Ellenberger, but fuck Koscheck.
I want Ellenberger to put him in a camel clutch.
Ellenberger was almost the guy. Ellenberger was almost Hendricks, and then he kind of fell off a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. The next match we got is Raquel Pennington. She's ranked number 12. She's going up against Holly Holm, who's ranked number 13. Pennington's 5-5. Holm is 7-0. It's a tough fight. I'm going with Holly Holm.
You're going with Holly Holm. Well, you know, Raquel Pennington impressed Dana White a lot. When her season of The Ultimate Fighter, he always said that she was the one that if she really brought it to the table could really be good. But obviously Holly Holm is really good, undefeated. I'm going to go with Pennington. I say Pennington takes her down.
Well, I have a real my new pet peeve that ever since I realized that women can be douchebags. It's a real big pet peeve. So I'm looking at Pennington. She's got the mean mug. She feels the need to stare down the camera. And she's got all these fucking tats that really don't mean shit. I'm sure they all have some kind of crazy story. Well, this one is because this is my transformation of self.
The star on my shoulders because I like Converse.
The star on my shoulder represents the 5 points of my family's credo. They're all bullshit. She just got some random tats from fucking whatever just to look tough. The other chick on the right, I don't know anything about her, but she looks like, just like the other guy said, like she's hanging on.
Ernest.
In about 10 pounds, she won't be in fighting shape. But that's cool. Look at, she's fucking smiling. She's got the long blonde hair.
So you think Holly Holm's going to win?
I'm rooting for her. I don't say maybe she's not going to win, but I'm
you
favoring
want to see her? Okay.
I want to see her win because
All right.
she looks like she's going to be a good mom.
There you go.
The other chick, I don't want her fucking picking up my kid and be like,
I
want you to wear fucking long sleeves and don't tell anybody I'm banging you.
I don't want her working at the daycare. That's messed up, dude. Okay, so the championship fight is Ronda Rousey against Kat Zingano. Dude, I'm gonna go with Ronda Rousey. And I would like to see Zingano win because I think it would be good for the division just for some competition.
No, it's not.
I think
for Ronda to lose is horrible for the UFC.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think that Dana White's running out of options.
She needs to win some more fights.
What she need to win? 200?
Yeah,
200 in a row.
She's the main draw. She don't. Her value doesn't go up by losing.
So why don't they just feed her like people that can't
the
even
big fight is
so
going to
she
be
never
Cyborg.
loses?
She needs to beat Kat, and then it sets up a mega fight with.
What
Cyborg.
if she loses to Cyborg?
Well, that's different. Then you have a beast that's going to be your champion.
So you think she should? You want to see her win this fight or a
Yes.
couple more to set up the big fight?
Yeah.
So I'm with that, but it's not good for the UFC if she never fights Cyborg and
That's
she always beats everybody.
It's like Mayweather Pacquiao.
You think so?
Yeah.
Ernest.
Yeah, or Tito Lydell.
Who's going to win this fight?
As you guys have seen by my previous pattern, I don't really give a fuck who I think is physically capable or technically capable of winning. I'm just rooting based on personality and sometimes just by looks. Ronda, by and large, has a history of being douchey. Anybody who says that she's not douchey is either her friend, family member, or just a fucking dick-riding fan who really doesn't know. She's... I don't like anything about her. She's hot, don't get me wrong, but Zingano, she seems to have a better personality. She got close. She gave it to her last time, right?
I don't think they've ever fought.
Didn't they fight last time?
They're both undefeated, so it's impossible for them to have fought.
Well, then maybe not. It was some other fucking fighter chick with big shoulders. I don't know. Anyways,
This is why I interrupt you.
It matters very little. Look, this is my fantasy right now.
What's funnier is just listening to his whole reasoning process behind how he picks a fighter.
I don't really give a shit, dude. It's just like when I fuck up people's names. I don't really give a shit. I want to see.
Which one would you rather sleep with?
It doesn't look. Let me get to this first, and then I'll give you that. What I would really like, I would like a big fucking battle, and then I'd like for the round to be called, and Kat Zingano to fucking punch her in the back of the head when she's going to her corner, $1 million baby Rousey, and fucking let Julia Stiles play the fucking part in the movie.
Oh my god, you're terrible.
Right?
But who's gonna win?
I want 5% on the residuals and box office.
Who are you going? Who's your pick though?
I'd rather bang Rousey, but you know.
Who's your pick to win the fight?
Fuck, come on, Rousey's probably gonna fucking win it, but I'll go for Zingano.
Oh my god.
I completely disagree with everything you said. I love Ronda Rousey.
I think Rousey's good for the sport. I do think she's
not douchey.
Not douchey.
I don't know that.
Well, then you fit in the category dick
You really
riding
don't
fan.
think so?
No.
It's hard to tell, dude. It's hard to tell if it's an
No,
act
really, I
or if
don't.
it's not an act.
Yeah, she sounded cool when she was on.
What,
she was
shake
on
somebody's fucking hand? She's douchey.
Nah,
I mean, why is she
you know
douchey?
why she's douchey? I'll tell you why she's douchey.
Because she's douchey.
Here's a
Okay,
douche.
well,
I'll
define
tell you.
douchey.
Can I tell you? Here's why. She came on and she talked shit about girls who pose in magazines and they show their body and they're this and they're that. And then she turned around. Then she turned
That's
around.
not what she did,
and
actually.
she
$1
did the
million.
same
Ted
thing.
DiBiase came to her and said, "Everybody's got their
No.
price."
That's not what she did.
She criticized the Kardashian girls because she was
it's
famous
easy,
off
'cause
of
everybody
sex,
does it?
off of sex porno.
She also
not necessarily off a couple of pics where you got your
Look,
tits.
she also talked shit about the ring card girls and said, "Oh, they make too much money, blah blah blah." Or they
No,
shouldn't
she
make
didn't
as
even
much.
say that
She
either.
said
She
they
said they
shouldn't
shouldn't
make
be
as much as a
paid more than
fighter,
the fighters.
which they're not, right?
I don't know.
But why? Why does she even care? You see what I'm saying? That's how she comes. She is the number one.
Say
push.
one more bad word about Ronda Rousey.
See, look
see
at
what
this guy.
happens.
He's
That's
upset.
what it is. Dick
She's the
riding
number.
fan.
Look, dude, she's the main attraction in the UFC.
Yeah.
So it makes her look catty when she goes, "Oh, the ring card girl shouldn't make."
I want to
as
see
much
her
as
fight
it."
Nate
It's
Diaz.
like, what
Yeah,
do you
but
care?
So you give all these interviews and they ask you all these fucking questions and then you answer one the wrong way and everyone says you're douchey.
I know you're her advocate and you're advocating for her, and I get that, but I'm just saying that. You
No,
come
because
across
when
as a
she
douche.
fights Cyborg, she's gonna get smashed. I think personally.
Fuck yeah.
I don't think she is. I think she's going to beat Cyborg.
Shut the
I'm not
front
kidding.
door.
I don't
Dude,
think so.
I think you guys are going to see that Cyborg has been fighting some tomato cans.
I
the
think
last few
Cyborg
years.
is gonna kick the fuck out of
Cyborg
her legs, dude.
is beating the shit out of her body, and you guys are going to watch. Rousey's going to put the hurt on Cyborg. You're going to see it, and you guys are going to come back to me, and you're going to go, "That little skinny pencil neck Jew was right." All right, dude, we got to wrap this up.
I want Ronda Rousey and Josh Koscheck to fight. And
There you go.
They can't have two douches.
To
in the
our
UFC.
listeners, make sure you go to InsideBJJ.com, click on the Countermove Fantasy MMA banner. It's on the right-hand side, and you can sign up for the fantasy pool play and, get some bragging
You know
rights.
what's cool about her?
What's that?
She's not Kyle Terra.
You're stupid. Dude, great show. Somebody requested that we bring the old school music back,
Who's
so
that?
I'm going to do it. We got some big names coming up. Hey, we're going to be on Eddie Bravo Radio coming up in a couple weeks here, so make sure you check us out on the Eddie Bravo podcast.
Get some caveman coffee, motherfucker.
use the promo code INSIDE, save 10%. What's coming up for you, Mello?
Nothing, man. We're plugging away at Ronin, www.trainronin.com. I'm going to have some Cesar Gracie down pretty soon. Big man seminar coming up. And we'll be doing another women's self-defense seminar coming up this next month.
All right.
Nice. On behalf of Matt Ernest, the Inside BJJ podcast.
Sweet. You guys are fucking hilarious. You don't talk too much. Matt, this is why I fucking cut you off. You fucking dick.